get really nervous. Okay, I'm Abby with More City Nerds. This is Angel, who tolerates me. Say hi, Angel. I'm sorry.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Oh my God. Angel took me to comic book day, and we had so much fun. And Angel's supposed to be here, and Angel has tolerated me through my depression, through my ups and downs, and through all my bullshit. All he's wanted is to come on and be awesome and be a good friend and talk about cool shit. So now we're finally here. And he was the one who said, let's talk about Mulan. We have no reason to talk about Mulan, even, do we? There's no
really.
There's no anniversary or anything, but we just want to talk about it. And I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I'm totally, when you said that, hi, Lawrence, hey. I don't know if you like Mulan, but we're going to talk about it. But, no, yeah, when you were just like, let's talk about Mulan, I was like, yeah, let's. Because why not? And then my mom was like, well, is it the anniversary? Is it this? And I was like, wait, it came out in 99. Then I was like, oh, no, it didn't. I was like, it came out the year before because I thought, oh, the 25th anniversary. And I was like, oh, no, never mind. I lied. And then I'm like, we don't need a fucking reason to talk about Mulan. It's great. It's so good.
We love Mulan. Mulan is literally in my top Disney movies ever.
Man, I want to ask you about your list in a minute, but can we just say something really quick? I'm like, people now get all bent out of shape and they're like, they're cramming these strong females down our throat.
It happens every time.
I'm like, what? And then I'm like, okay, like, I'm the first one to go, are you pandering? Because there's a very big difference between, like, to me, the offensive part about pandering is you think whatever group is stupid. So you're going like, women won't notice, people of color won't notice, fucking whatever. And it's like, that's when pandering's gross. That's the offensive part. You think we're dumb and we don't notice. But if it's organically done and done right, that's cool with me, and representation is fine. But I'm like, so now we're shoving strong females down our gullets? I believe I'm just like, okay, let's think about it. 98, Mulan. And then I'm just like, this had a serious thing on my psyche. And, you know, like, it really did. But we had Mulan. And then I'm trying to think of the other. When I was talking about it a few days ago, I was like, wait, then we had, like, Mystique and Storm, like, a couple years later with X-Men. We had Kill Bill. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Strong female characters are happening now. We had Beatrix Kiddo in 02. Like, what are you talking about? For real, the baddest female character of all time is the Bride. And it's like, what are we talking about? But, like, Mulan had a serious impact.
Mulan was just iconic in every single way.
Monty, I miss. Angel was in the chat too for True Detective. I miss True Detective so much. I just need to tell you guys that. If I miss it so much. Oh my God, Brian! Mulan. I just called him Mulan. Brian. Fuck off, Brian.
Mulan is not overrated. You shut your whole mouth.
You did this on purpose.
He's just doing this. Brian. He's just doing this to stir the pot.
Let's just say, Brian, call in. I want to hear your top 5 then. We'll go mano-y-mano. But, no, Monty, seriously, everybody, I really do. You guys made True Detective so much fun, and I miss it so much. But do you guys want to know we are going to go live right after? I've decided, I told Nicole, if anybody I want to have, like, people call in if people want to do that. Like, I'm technology inept. I don't know what I'm doing. Ask Brian and the Legal Aliens. Every time I go there, I'm like, there's 2 cameras in here. How do you guys do it? I'm like shocked by it because I'm like, all of this will come crashing down if I move too fast. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a USB hooked up to an adapter to another adapter to a laptop I can barely use. I don't know what I'm doing ever. But no, The Jinx. I don't want to get too sidetracked. Has anybody watched The Jinx?
I have not.
Okay. After this live, everybody needs to go to HBO Max. If you don't have an account, you can borrow mine. And you need to watch The Jinx. It's like a 5-part serious documentary, and it's crazy. And this guy says a whole bunch of crazy shit on it, and they weren't supposed to catch him saying it, and it's wild. But they're coming out with a season 2, and it's going to be like 4 or 5 parts. And I was like, oh no, Nicole, get on this crazy shit, and we're going to go live after. But I would love to have people like come on and be like, this shit is insane. Like, I would love, but I think that's going to be the next one we schedule to go live after every time. But anyway. Dude, True Detective, seriously, Interview with a Vampire in the True Detective Squad, and Angel, when you came in with the silver from Judas, I'm like, Catholicism. Did you go to Catholic school? Here we go again. It's happening again.
No, but I was raised in a Catholic household.
Yeah, right. No, I was going to say you are Mexican, right? I'm not mixing that up.
No, I 100%.
Okay, I was going to say you're not, because now I look like a jackass. No,
yes,
I was just going to say normally us Irish and Mexicans are very we have our ways of our traditions with our Catholicism. But when you
Very
were like,
much so.
you were like Judas with the silver, I was like, oh shit, that was like the biggest breakthrough for me. But anyway, Mulan. Actually, Mulan is all right. Brian, okay. Then what's your fave? What is everybody's favorite in there? But anyway, Mulan. Here's my thing. Okay, so Little Abby, Little Angel, Mulan comes out, right? Did you see it in theaters?
No, I actually didn't. We didn't see it in the theater. We actually waited for the VHS tape because and I still have the VHS tape. I can like literally find it in a little bit.
That would make me cry. I'm going to show you guys something funny. So, not to get too depressing, but my dad died in '98. So my dad got really sick really fast. And I'll tell you, it's kind of funny and morbid because I was 6. He had kidney cancer and they were walking up the stairs to tuck me into bed. Heard him say kidneys. We have to go in for tests. And I was like, it's my fault, Dad. And he was like, what? And I was like, because I'm a kid and I'm always sitting on your knee. It's my fault. Like, it's my fault. And he's like, no, Abby, it's not your fault. He laughed so hard. But so he got really sick. And at that moment in time, I could wrap anybody around my finger. That was how I got people to buy me Predator on DVD. I don't know why a 6-year-old needed Predator, but I knew it said pussy in it. And so I had to hide it from my mom in my room with my PS2. But I knew for a minute I could be like, I want a Big Mac. And everybody would do things for me. And that's why I got to go see Mulan in theaters. And I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember when those horses came over the mountain. And I was like,
oh my God.
Can we establish that Shang says, and we'll get into the whole thing, but when Shang says, he says, everybody like hold your ground. Where the
like, if we die, we
die with honor. What the shit? Like that's a crazy thing for a Disney movie to say. Like,
and honestly, let's just think about that for a second. You're facing an entire army that is just charging downhill, and you've got like 6 soldiers drawing their swords right now. Like, there's no
shitty
way
soldiers
you're gonna win this.
Right. No, that's what I mean. We know we're gonna die. And I'm like, I guess you don't really hit the magnitude of that, but I do. I remember those horses coming over the mountain and being like, oh shit, and the music changing. And I won't get into that in a minute. But yeah, no, the opening of Mulan is. I love the opening of Mulan with the drawing, with the calligraphy, and it's really pretty. And I don't understand why this isn't brought up in people's top 3s. I really don't. When people talk about, oh, I like this, I like that, and I'm just like, why isn't Mulan in your top things? Sorry, I'm just clicked on those when I'm trying to make us a thumbnail while doing this. But I don't understand why it's not like an automatic topper. Like, I'll say this. Let's pretend the Lion King doesn't exist. Is that a smart? Because I do think the Lion King is the GOAT. I think the Lion King is the best.
100%.
But the funny part about the Lion King is that was like the B team. Like, they were like, all the A team people go to Pocahontas. That's going to be the big one. And then they were like, all you others, go do that lion thing you're doing with Hamlet. And then Elton John walked in and was like, hey, can I do this? And I'm like, that must have been he like sought them out. And I'm like, that's awesome. But I think Lion King is the GOAT when it comes to soundtracks. But other ones, people put some shit above things that I don't think they should. And we'll get into that. But it opens with, like I said, this movie's more intense than I think people really, and I don't know the last time people sat down and actually watched it. Because we have like the wacky, first off, we have her telling her you don't matter unless you have a husband.
Right.
That's what I mean. I'm like,
and like the whole song saying like our girls can bring great honor to their families in one way by finding a good match. And I'm just like, what? Right.
And I'm like, and that's too woke. It's too woke. And just the way they even animate it and show her like going through the town and helping the guy with the checkers. And it's like, you can't even do that, but her showing up late and her dad, I love that even when her dad gets mad and her mom gets irritated, they know who their daughter is.
Right.
They know who their daughter is.
And they're like, and like the dad just like seeing like everything happen with like the dog and the chickens. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to go pray some more.
When he doesn't even, but that's what I mean when he doesn't even look up from kneeling. Because he's just like, please.
Please, I know what she is. Just help.
Right, and it's great. And the only magical part of this is the ancestors in Mushu. There's no like anything like supernatural like with other things in Disney. It's just the only like mythological part to it. Everything else is very serious. And we get the matchmaker, iconic scene. But when she yelled, like even to this day, it like hurts my soul when she goes, you will never bring your family honor.
He just like walks up and just like smashes a teapot right in front of her. It's like, you may look like a bride, but you'll never bring your family honor. Like,
rough.
Okay, calm down, lady.
Jill,
Okay.
I was trying to help you, but that's the thing too. Okay, here's the other part. My mom is from the hood. She's been wearing the same and one sweatpants since 1999. She does not like spending money. Before my dad got sick, they started paying for a Disney trip. He passed away in March of 1998. The year Mulan is premiering at the park, right? But my mom was like, I don't give a shit. We are going to the park. We're going. We're going on this vacation because I will not waste money that I spent. And I'm like, thinking back on it, one, my uncle was 29. I don't know. I'm around that age. I don't know if I could go with my widowed sister, her angry 17-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom was probably still in shock and grieving when we went. But we go to Disney World, right? The first thing my sister did was tell me she was going to throw me off the Dumbo ride and kill me. So that was a good memory.
That's
But
right.
then we get to Epcot, right? And I don't know if you guys have been there recently, but they have like a whole like air conditioned thing you can go and meet the big princesses in. This would be like if Frozen came out and
Right.
they just chucked Elsa into the crowd. So we're walking past Epcot. Like my mom ain't gonna wait 7 hours in no line.
Right.
So I didn't have my hopes up to meet Mulan, right? So this is the year that movie came out. It's huge. Walking past the Chinese theater, they come. Here they come. Mulan and Shang come
Oh
walking
my
out.
god.
They come walking, and my mom grabbed me up so hard and threw me at these people. They probably were like, "What are you doing, ma'am? Like, what are you doing with this child?" Gripped me up, threw me at him, went to take the picture. And you have the autograph book, right? To this day, it bothers me. My mom laughs at me. I was like, "It's not funny. It broke my heart." To this day, my heart is broken, and it's not their fault. So I give him my book to Shang, and he goes, "What's your name?" And I said, "Abby." And then and I'm like starstruck. And then he goes, "Oh, okay, Annie." And I was like, "It's
No.
it's Abby." And then he was just like, huh. And I was like, "It's Abby," but he had already wrote Annie. So he just went with it. And I'm like, and then Mulan called me Annie. And I
Oh
was like,
no.
I was in hysterics. I was crying so hard. I loved the shit. My mom used to have to hide the VHS. I was so obsessed with it. But yeah, no, I was like, I got to meet her at the park. It was like, it would be like if a kid got to meet Michael Jordan. And I was like, and my
Yeah,
mom's like, it's
seriously.
not that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, you meet if my mom would have got to meet David Bowie and he called her Sammy, she would have been like mortified. And I'm like, to this day, I'll never forget it. And it made me so sad. But I know they just couldn't hear me because Disney just chucked these two people in costumes into a huge crowd of people. And it was the poppin' thing. I'm like, there's no line. It was chaos. I couldn't believe they did it to those people, thinking back on it. But yeah, that's my Mulan. So I think that this movie probably, like with my dad passing and stuff, I probably was like a comfort movie too, on top of everything. Like I
Right.
watched it on repeat. It was my favorite thing. But then
I
when you get older, you take something different from it though.
oh yeah.
For sure. And
When
like
I
I
was
said,
a little kid watching this, I'm just like, oh man, like oh no, she got caught. Oh, like, well, at least she's good. And then like now as an adult watching this, like that, yeah, you were about to get murked. The only reason you didn't is because you saved this guy.
I know it's a Disney movie, but let's think about like, what if officials didn't find out and some creeps found out in the camp? Like,
right.
that could go really bad.
The whole scene in the water could have ended very differently.
Right. No, and honestly, somebody was saying that it's like weird now, and I was like, I thought they handled that really well, like for like a funny kids movie, because it's like that's a situation.
Right.
But it's even funny when she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna not take a bath, you smelly bastards."
Right.
And I think it's funny. I do. I think, and I'll stand by this. Somebody got mad on Facebook. I think Mushu Eddie Murphy is his best voice acting, better than Donkey. Not saying that Donkey's not good, but it's like,
look, Donkey is like in a different category on its own because Donkey has some iconic lines, but
yes,
Mushu is just like his like it was like the top tier hilarious comedic relief, just like dropping
here's my
wisdom
thing.
here and there.
I am listening. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with the chat. And Monty, no, yes, Lucky Cricket. I had a toy from McDonald's. I loved it. But no, sorry, Angel. I didn't want you to think that I was not listening. But
No, yeah.
Here's the thing with Mulan. It toes the line real well of like, this could get weird, but it doesn't. And
Right.
and when they first come into, because okay, so we have Bring Honor to Us. Oh, when she shows up to get the bath, that's a great song too.
Right.
But I was really like trying to run through the songs. I was like, which one starts this movie? And then it's and the mom set her up to have a cold bath, right? She knew she was gonna be late.
100%.
And that's what I mean. There's little things in this where it's like, we know grandma had a life. She's the shit. And that's normally how it goes, right? Like after you raise your kids and then you're a grandparent, you're like, I don't give a shit. I can do what I want. And I like my grandkid. And I'm not gonna get mad at them ever for nothing. Believe
But
me,
when
I
you
know
think
all
about
about
it,
it.
like grandma also had the kind of thing with the parents that she knows that Mulan's probably gonna fuck
Well,
something up. That's why she was getting all the luck stuff because she's like, "Here, hold this. We're gonna need more luck than I thought." Because she had like the notes on her
that's my
wrist.
favorite part of the song is when she says beads of jade for
Oh
beauty.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that. No, and it's that's what I mean though about the little things in Mulan. Like when, and I want to get to this, but I like when she gets there and gets the bath and she's telling her like, girl, when we're gonna get you all ready. I love that one. Then we have Honor to Us All, which is a jam. And I love the way they go through all the different women and show
mm-hmm.
them. I love that. And then we get home and they're like, oh, we screwed up, whatever. And
Right.
then before we talk about reflection, which is greatness, when the army pulls up, you see the grandma just go, like go up
Yeah,
on the
like yeah,
roof, go up on
go
the
on
roof
the
and
roof. I
watch.
know you
Like,
want to
and
see
I
what you got.
always loved that. And I'm like, there's little things that nod to these characters, and they're only there for not very long. They're not a big deal. Someone cared about like, there's layers to these characters we don't even see a shit ton, and it's great. And like I said, as a kid, you're like, oh shit, the army's here. As an adult, you're like, and then maybe for me, because the house of all women, like
Mm-hmm.
my dad can't go fight. Like he can't. When she runs out and said, and they're like, "Don't speak in front of a man. Like tell your daughter
Right.
not to speak." Like they didn't shy away from it, but it wasn't like too much that it was not good. It was
Right.
like, "Oh, hold your tongue in a man's presence." That's what they say. They're like, "Teach your
Yeah.
daughter to hold." And then, but we find out that this is what I mean when the dad hands his stick over his walking stick and straightens his back and goes
Yeah.
walking up to get the paper. It's like we know this guy's a noble guy, and then we find out why don't we get a prequel about him?
Seriously, I have
We
said
want the
that like
prequel of Mulan's dad.
I would love to see a prequel of Milan's dad just like fucking shit up, showing that he was a true warrior. Because he has his armor from the war and everything, and he even draws his sword and like practices his movements with it again. So
Yeah, well, that's what
this
Shang.
man is a trained combat veteran.
Right.
And now he's just trying to live a simple life with his wife and his kid. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's just like, oh no,
No,
we're
stop.
drafting you back into
I'm so
war.
sorry. I'm so sorry that I did this. This is the best opening to the movie. I swear to God, this is one of the most cold villains ever. That's what it is. When they get to the wall and the Huns are coming over. This is
Oh,
one of
and
my
then
favorite. I am talking. This is one of my. I don't care which movie you bring up. You can bring up The Godfather. I don't give a shit. This is one of the most menacing lines ever. Is when they start lighting up the torches and then he lights it. Goes, now all of China knows you're here.
he's like,
Perfect.
good. He just like freaking burns their flag in the fire,
Like,
just adding insult to injury. He's like, perfect.
and later on, when he says in building his wall, he tried to
He
prove
challenged my
he was
strength.
stronger than me. Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah. By building the
perfect.
wall, he challenged my strength. Well,
I
I'm
would
here
shit
to
a
play
brick.
his game. Then he just throws them over. It's just like tell the emperor to send his strongest men. I'm ready.
Yeah, and I'm
No,
like,
but
when
then
do we get
and then he makes it worse by telling this guy how many men does it take to deliver a message, and the guy's just drawing an arrow. One, two. It's like
right? And you don't
shit.
even pick up on that, but no, that is one of my favorite villain lines in anything. When he's like, now, and you can tell this guy's like, I'm scared shitless, but now all of China knows you're here. Perfect. And I'm like, I would shit myself right there. If somebody said that, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, they're coming. Good. And yeah, and you're right. They do say that. They're like, send our best because that's Shang's dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then that's what I mean. These are the flunkies. These are the
Right.
flunkies. And they're still like, if we die, we die with honor. And I'm like, I do not know any other Disney movie that does that and doesn't shy away from it. Like Scar, yeah, you try to kill your
Right.
brothers, but it's like those are animals. They're not
Right. They're
people.
not people.
And Scar is my favorite villain of all time.
Oh,
I mean,
Scar is. Take a
care.
second and just think about it. Scar is the only villain who achieved everything he said he would in his song.
Facts, but
Literally.
Ronnie, I cry every time too. I do. I get teary-eyed every time when the dad goes to walk up to get his papers and they play the music and he straightens his back. It does. Even when he's messing with his armor and sword, and then you see him drop it and she's watching through the crack, like, and the music in this is beautiful. It really is. But no, what were we just talking about? The flunkies and the soldiers. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better with the chat thing, Angel. Deal with me. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
No. Where are we even at? Are we even going in order? We're just going on about Mulan. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
We're just going on like in the jumbled
cares?
order.
We want the prequel for Mulan's dad. And that's what I mean. I don't like prequels usually. Like Rogue One, nobody get mad at me. Nobody get angry with me. Rogue One is a good movie. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful film, like in general. But I don't know about you guys, but I think we all know that R2D2 is going to get the goddamn plans.
100%.
We all know that's going to happen, and that's my issue with prequels. And it's not that they can't be good; it's that in my head, I'm constantly going like, "Well, we know you're going to get there." I'm still down to see all this, but whatever. But I'm like, "Huh? I want the Fazu prequel. They should really deep into that. You could bring back a different Guardian because you want to talk about the Stone Dragon. If we want to talk about Reflection and then get into the Stone Dragon, I'll never forget that Christina Aguilera music video. I'll never forget it. Also, how can you say this like couldn't be like a gay anthem? Like for real. Like seriously, anybody can relate to Reflection. But for real, like even the I'm not as good with animation terms, so if I say stupid things, I'm sorry, but I'm like the way they show her taking half the makeup off and the way they show and go into her walking through her family home and then to the ancestors, but then like, who am I? And will I ever make them happy? And what is it okay for me to be different? It's like everybody can relate to feeling different. Everybody can relate to that.
Literally.
But I mean, come on, man. She's about to cut off her hair and put on Soldier. It's a gay anthem for sure. And that's what I mean.
100%.
All of us 20 years ago were going, we can just enjoy this stuff. I was talking about this with X2. I'm like, go back and watch X-Men 2 and tell me that Magneto, Ian McKellen, is not sassy as shit in it. Like, and nobody said anything.
Oh, he seriously is.
Openly. And I think he had made a conscious choice. I think he said like, because he really cared about that character. He was like, it's close to my heart. It's close to the community I'm in. Like, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, no, okay. If a man looks you dead in the face and says, we're getting out of here, darling, it's a dead giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. He is throwing a cape all around. He is saying catty remarks in the corner with his BFF Mystique, his girl best friend. And then all I'm saying is that if an older gay man turned to me and said, we love what you've done with your hair, I would be rethinking my entire look. I was like, oh my God. And that's my favorite superhero movie. And I'm like, but nobody back then was going, oh my God, they made Magneto gay. And like, you know what I mean? And it's like, and nobody was going, Reflections about being gay. But I'm like, I go back and anytime I hear that, I'm like, this can apply to everybody. Of course, we just went, let's enjoy it. Can we just enjoy this awesome thing we have? That'd be sick. But the way they do Reflection is beautiful.
And topping on that, actually, Scar, when he's doing his song and the way he's like strutting around.
Come on, I mean they all are. Ursula,
like you were throwing that in their face at that point, okay?
And also, outside of that, you guys did like I always think I'm gonna get in trouble for shit, but do you want to know what words matter? And do you want to know what I really hate real quick? I hate it when people, and I understand like for TikTok, but when people say like unalive and things like that, like I get why you're doing that, but I feel like it takes away the magnitude. And same thing with this, like I don't know if I can say Nazi, but either way, you have Nazi like visuals, which I think are smart kind of, and they invoke a feeling in you, and they should.
Seriously.
But if you're gonna do that, can we chill on getting stressed about other things? Like there's a reason people do things, but no, Reflection is, like I said, anybody can relate to it. If I put on Reflection now as an adult, I'm getting teary-eyed. I man. And I think we all feel like that at some point in our life. We're like, did we make our parents happy? Or whoever raised us happy? Did we do this right? Did we do it wrong? Am I doing the right thing with my life?
How many times do I think to myself, like, my parents aren't proud of me because I'm still living at home? Like, how many times do those thoughts run through all of our heads? Honestly, come on now.
Why do you think I was stuck at Ford for so long? Like I literally broke down one day, like because it's like that's all I ever knew, and I broke down, like fell to my knees, and I was crying to my mom, and I'm like, I'm a failure. I was like, I'm a failure. I was like, I moved back home with you, and she was like, and I was like, you're not proud of me, and she was like, I'm so proud of you, and I'm like, oh my God,
don't do that.
Like Jesus, Ma, come on, man, just say you're mad at me or something, like say you're disappointed. And she was like, no, she was like, I'm proud of you in the fact that you didn't take their shit and you left, and you would rather do that, whatever. Like, do we get a little stressed out sometimes? Yeah, but. Fuck it, man. Who cares? As long as you're happy. But like, no, I think I think that everybody feels like that. Like, did I do the right thing? Like, man, there's a Mike Tyson interview that makes me cry every time when they're like, if you could talk to Cuss, what would you say? And he's like, did I make you proud? Did I do it right? And I'm like,
come on, Mike.
Like, and so it's like, if Mike Tyson feels that way, I think we all do, you know, like, did I do this? But no, there's just so much imagery in that it's, like I said, it's beautiful. And then even her, this is where I want to get into, curling up in the stone dragon. Like that's where she went to go.
Okay, so I'm getting so excited about this. This is the biggest theory.
Yeah, Angel's been talking about this stone dragon thing.
And I'm so excited to talk about this with somebody else. So okay, the Great Stone Dragon. Okay, we're gonna go
Okay.
fast forward a little bit. The ancestors wanted to send the Stone Dragon to get Mulan and bring her back home, right?
Right. That
And
was huge.
they send Mushu, and Mushu wakes up everybody with the gong, and it's easy. You know, he just rings the gong, everybody comes alive. Great. Okay, so now go fetch the Stone Dragon. What happens when he goes get the Stone Dragon? He rings the gong, he doesn't come out. He goes up there, he basically destroys the statue because he's like beating it, like trying to wake up the Stone Dragon, and it just freaking crumbles. And then he like pretends to be the dragon to go, right?
Okay.
The theory here is that the Great Stone Dragon didn't come out because the Great Stone Dragon was already reincarnated into Mulan. Because when she's doing the song Reflections, she's walking in front of the Stone Dragon and looking in the water and saying,
she feels safe.
"Who is that girl I see?"
Well, that's what I'm trying to think right now. I know there's a face on it, but like a Eastern dragon and a European dragon are different, like visually. There's a face looking thing on her dad's sword.
Yes, and it's a dragon
design.
Yes, and when she's going into his room to steal his conscription papers, what was on that shade?
It said prescriptions.
Dragon.
So wait, there is a dragon. There is a dragon. Yeah. Okay.
So that was the biggest thing, is like the dragon was already reincarnated into Mulan, which is why the dragon spirit couldn't come out. It was already in Mulan.
See, that's what I mean about how well this movie did like little things, because I love that. Like, and that's the kind of stuff that I really do love, is when you can like theory craft like that where it doesn't affect the entire plot, but it's like that's sick. But they never directly say like the dragon is the symbol of our family. Like, we know it's around, but like you said, no, it's there. And then I was like, oh, it's on the sword, it's there, it's here. But they never directly say it, but we know that is like the thing of their air. And like I said, when she goes to be upset, she's sitting up in the stone dragon, curled up in a ball.
And why would she be just curling up in front of the dragon? It's not a very comfortable place.
It also applies to like her family. Now that we're talking about it, sorry,
exactly.
That would be like, are they proud of me? Do they want? Oh my god, I like that though. Here's my thing. Okay, Disney, you're about to steal our shit. Dad prequel, not Mushu, but the Great Stone Dragon.
Please,
that'd be sick, right? That would be so cool. Let me answer comments because I feel bad. Oh, here we go. Can't see it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, R2-D2 has the Force. R2-D2 is my favorite Star Wars character, besides Jabba the Hutt.
I love R2-D2.
R2-D2 has so much sass, and all he does is beep and boop. I relate to Reflection. It gets me in the feels every right, exactly. It hits, Reflection hits hard, and it's great. And that's what I mean. When it comes to soundtracks, I do not know why I think Mulan's better than Frozen. I think Frozen is catchier, but when it comes to like, I want to put in some jams. Mulan, come on, man. I'm really enjoying the current Star Wars content. Dude, I watched that Acolyte trailer and I wasn't going to react to it like on here because I was like, oh, it's been like a week. And then I watched it with Mom. I was like, it looks sick. I don't know if you watched it. It looks so cool. But it take place in the middle of a story that already has an ending. Why I'm hyped for Acolyte. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for all the Star Wars. Even when it's disappointing. Dude, people really love the Bad Batch. I used to do Multiverse of Geekdom. Let me come back on. I used to do the Jedi
Bad Batch. Love everything about it.
No, they were explaining the Bad Batch to me. Was it you I was talking about? I got that with you. Me and Angel got this. Me and him got this together. My fucking Okay, so the funny thing is, like, I do love Star Wars, but it's not like my Game of Thrones. You know this.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, like, I just loved Qui-Gon. Ever since I was little, I was like, Qui-Gon's like my dude. Like, I love this fucking guy, and he's great. And then you were the one to tell me, like, he was because he was always telling the council to fuck off or something. And then I went on Multiverse of Geekdom's channel, and we used to do the Jedi Council every week together during Mandalorian. And they were explaining Bad Batch to me, and I was like, I know the basics. I was like, but I don't know every nitty gritty thing. And then they were like, who's your favorite Jedi? And I was like, Qui-Gon. And they were like, this all makes sense now. And I was like, what does? And they were like, Qui-Gon is like the epitome of, I'm kind of going to do whatever the shit I want. But no, remember we got this? It's
the Qui-Gon light up thing. I love that so much. It's
a Force ghost Qui-Gon that lights up, and he's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I want to make it more prominent.
I love that, but like I said, like I knew how much you love Qui-Gon. I was like, I have to let you have that one. Like Dude, that's one that I'm gonna let you take.
I'm gonna find you one. And if I die, you can have that. Everybody heard it. But no, Qui-Gon is my favorite. But I really didn't know. That's my favorite meme ever. Is like, it says like, and it's Obi-Wan. He's like, don't go against the council again. He's like, Obi-Wan, fuck the counts. And I was like, I love, and I didn't know he was the first one to talk from the dead. And I liked that. That was cool. But Qui-Gon's my dude. I'm like, he's my, but I never, for some reason, ever since I was a kid, I'm like, that's my guy. But they all told me to get into Bad Batch. Me and Mom watched Rebels. Really liked that. Mom loves Ahsoka. And I like getting people's takes that have never seen shit. Like, my mom has no clue who Ahsoka is. She's like, that's the girl from Mandalorian. Right. I like her. She's cool. And then she thought that Rosario Dawson was actually that color. She was like, I wonder how she does that. And I was like, she doesn't. She's painted, Mom. I'm like, what do you know? And she's like, no, she's not. She's in whatever. I go, I think your eyes are going bad. She's orange in this show. I think she might be colorblind, though, in her defense. I'm like, what the fuck? But no, she really was like, I love Ahsoka. She thought Ahsoka was such a badass. She loved all that. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she was like, my mom was one going like, we got to watch Rebels. We got to do this. So we watched the big ones we needed to, and then went through and watched the whole thing. But I dug that. Are you super into Star Wars?
Oh, super into Star Wars. I've loved Star Wars since I was a little kid. I have been always dreaming of being a Jedi.
Like, why didn't I know this?
Like, literally as a little kid, I remember like holding a balloon and like nudging it with my hand, with my foot, and just acting like I was pushing it away with the Force. Like I was such a little nerd for Star Wars. The only way my mom got me to accept and use the set of green sheets that she had got me for my bed, because I was like, oh, I don't want it, or something like that. I don't know why I didn't like these sheets. I was just being a little shit at that time. Right. And she's like, well, they're Yoda sheets. And I was like, oh, it's Yoda sheets. That changes everything. And I was automatically in love with them.
And then we'll get back to Mulan. Then we can do Star Wars talk in a little bit if you want. I don't mind.
Oh, hell
the funniest shit my sister said. Now, my sister is one of those people that she's not like an idiot, but she's one of those people that's like, so Magneto's getting the ring to Hogwarts. Like, she's in the ballpark, but she doesn't know everything. And she goes, everybody, and she doesn't have social media. So she's like, everybody keeps talking about this baby Yoda. This baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda. So me and my boyfriend go to watch this baby Yoda, right? She was like, the entire time I thought it was a Yoda prequel. And I almost died, because then I thought about it and I went, that actually works. Like, if you have no clue and people keep saying baby Yoda, she was like, I thought it was a Yoda prequel. I was like, what the shit is this? And I'm like, that's funny. That is hilarious.
That is very funny. And yeah, like a lot of people kept on saying baby Yoda. And actually, we'll get back to Mulan, but I have to say this because this was freaking hilarious. It's a story from one of my patients that he had like the little baby Yoda. And I was like, oh, it's cool. You have a baby Yoda. That's so cool. That's so cool. It's so cute. This little kid looks me in my eyeballs and is like, his name is Grogu. My bad, child. I know his name is Grogu.
Sorry, kid.
Baby Yoda. Still, I apologize.
Sounds like when I asked my man, kids are funny though. I was talking about that with my sister. I was like, I really don't want to put kids like online. I think that's weird, but that's why I normally like film my face. Like I'll occasionally put like Tommy on there, or like when Malachi's got to record a reaction with me, I'm like, you left your baby here for too long, sister. I need to react to the Penguin trailer. So your baby's watching it. It is what it is. But I try to avoid putting them out there too much. But I'm like, kids give some of the best takes. Like I pulled up at my cousin's house. I was like, I'm taking John, her son. And she was like, for where and why? And I go, I'm taking him to see Transformers at the movies. The one that came out. And I'm like, a 6-year-old can watch this, right? But they give the best takes. I'm telling you, he was like, it was boring in the beginning. Once the gorilla showed up, it was good. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, and I like the music. And I was like, no, the soundtrack was great. So kids give the best, like, definitive answers, but they crack me up when they do so. Because I was like, Tommy, I love Chick Hicks, the car that goes against Lightning McQueen. And he was like, Chick Hicks is the worst. And when like a kid just says something so definitive to you like that, you're like, okay. And then I was like, well, what if I don't like Lightning McQueen? He's like, Lightning McQueen is the best. And I'm like, okay. But it's just so funny. But I'm like, no, but their takes are so sincere that I'm like, maybe I could just like record the audio. Because there are sometimes I want to ask about movies like, what did you think about that? And they crack me up. But it's Grogu. It's Grogu. But at least you heard that and not Annie. But anyway, no. Right. He's always Baby Yoda. Nicole got me a Baby Yoda. Nicole was like, I bought 6 of them because they were on sale. And I got a little Baby Yoda. He's super cute. Love him.
I have like 3 of them in my room.
Oh, yeah. No, dude, something was mixed. They had like makeup bags that were mismarked with the price. They were 50 cents one day. And I grabbed like hundreds and like bought a bunch of them on Black Friday one year. But Mulan, where were we? I want to talk about soundtrack.
We were talking about the theory about like the Stone Dragon.
Now I can't get over this dad prequel. No, but yeah, the Stone Dragon. Well, the Stone Dragon falling apart always kind of bothered me, even as a kid. I was like, is nobody gonna fix that? Like, Somebody should fix that. Like,
Yeah,
but
and
either
you
way.
know, I don't know why.
Oh, I wanted to say this too. One of the ancestors straight up says, "Your great granddaughter turned into a cross dresser," and it's like, could you imagine?
That was the most hilarious thing watching
It's a
it as
great
an
line.
adult. And it's like and it's just like any other family where it's just like, oh, my kids didn't cause so much trouble. They became acupuncturists. Like, we can't all
And
be
all become
acupuncturists.
acupuncturists.
No, your great granddaughter had to be a cross dresser. It's like, oh shit, chill out, everybody. Like, we're getting a little out of hand here.
No, but it's like,
no,
we weren't going nuts about it. It was like,
and Mushu throwing that jab too, all because Miss Man wants to take a little drag show on the road.
Yeah, we're supposed to take her drag show on the road. Oh wait, I was how old are we seeing this? 6? And I think we're pretty normal and okay. I think we're fine, but I think we're kind of decent human beings. But and we heard them say they were going to take a drag show on the road. Angel, somebody stop them. But no, I love the scenes of the ancestors. I really do. Like I said, even little characters have a huge impact in this, and it's great. But then when we do the transformation, you want to say scene, and she cuts her hair off, and that music, and then when the door opens and Khan is the horse, right?
Yeah,
doesn't recognize her. It's
just like rears up at first. It's just like, whoa, like, who the heck are you?
Like her looking at her reflection, cutting off the hair, putting it when she cuts off her hair, the music in that. When she walks to light the incense and goes back, and it's like, it's one of the best. I don't know if you want to call it like superhero transformation scenes, but it's
like,
so
to me,
good.
To me, it's like on par there with like a scene from like Avengers, like getting suited up and getting ready for battle, because with absolutely zero words or
music only.
The music and the intensity of these scenes, you see this. She's going from like a girl trying to impress her parents, trying to embrace like
I tried
like her gender role and like her role in like the society, and saying, no, screw that, I'm gonna do this to save my dad.
I think the reason
doing this, it's amazing.
I think the reason, like I said, when she runs out, she goes, "My dad's already fought one more. My dad's already done one more." So, like I said, we get these little nuggets, or like when they're even when she gets mad at the table at dinner, you shouldn't have to go. You should. There are plenty of young men to go fight for China, and he's like, "No, I'm going to do that." Yada yada yada. That's intense, even because you can tell, like, obviously people don't pop off at this table, and this is not. But it's like that's who she is, and they know that, and they're like, and she's right. She's not wrong. But that whole scene, you're right. There's no speaking. It's just light the incense, swapping out the paper for the hair thing. God damn. And then cutting the hair off, and just I can hear the music now in my head. Like, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't go that way ever again in the movie. That is like very specific to that. I would put it on par with a superhero transformation scene, like you said, with Thor picking up his hammer or something. It's like, here we go. And when she's putting on the armor and then goes and gets the horse, and like I said, the horse not recognizing her at first, and then go calm down, and then they go. It's so good. It is a very good scene.
And I love how it goes from that to like the really emotional scene of the dad, like running after her and seeing the door open, and then the mom saying like she could be killed. He's like, but if I reveal her, she will be.
Right. That's what I mean.
Like such a tear-jerking moment, because it's like, it's like either way, either she dies when she gets there, she can die on the road, she can die in battle.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too.
Or if like I reveal her that she's my daughter and stole my conscription papers, she'll die for joining the army, for dishonoring the army.
And then your whole family's being told they're scumbags. Can we just establish that? Like, what if your dad really did pull up to drag you out of the military like that? That'd be just not getting murdered. That'd be so embarrassing. You'd be like, Dad, really? Did you really need to?
Right. Did you really need to do this?
But like you said something, and I never thought of it this way. And I think the reason it works so well, it works because it's great, but it isn't so much like, yes, with the getting married thing, they don't even make it like a gender role as much as this is just what we have to do type deal. This is what we're used to, like tradition almost, more than it obviously is because you're a woman, but it's like the family and tradition and things like that. The war part, it's not that Mulan wanted to go and dress up like a boy and go and act like a boy. It's that she felt the need to protect her dad. So it's like, I'm going to do whatever I have to. And that's the difference of like, it's an organic story of that. And so it's not, pandering would be she feels a certain kind of way prior to that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Of her going like, oh, I quit, but that's like that's not it. It's just solely I love my dad, and
Right.
and
And I don't want him to die, and
I should
I have to
go.
protect him at all
Just
costs.
because I'm not his son does not mean that he should have to go. Like that's some bullshit. Like I'm
Right.
gonna go. So it's great. And even her and Mushu, and that's what I'm saying about Eddie Murphy too. Donkey is great. Donkey is iconic. I'm just saying it's kind of just Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Mushu, yeah, it's Eddie Murphy, but it's Mushu. When we go Mushu the character, we think Mushu. When I think of Donkey, I start thinking Eddie Murphy after a while.
Right.
With Mushu, I don't. I'm like, and I think he's great. I think he's great, and I think he brings depth to that character. I really do. And it's like
Yeah.
he's just a little
And,
wacky dragon.
and it's just like no matter what, like there's always like some comedy in it. Like when he has like the flames behind him, and he's like, "If the army finds out you're a girl, the consequences are death." And right
Have
back,
you ever
and
seen a
then
black and
he
white
goes over
before?
to Cricket, and like giving him the leave. Hey, you're gonna stay. You're gonna work.
Yeah, you're gonna stay. You're gonna work. No, I love it when he says, "I'm travel size for your convenience." Oh, and then he says that too. I can see straight through your armor.
And
And
she's just like, "What?" Slap
shit,
him.
man. And it's like nobody. But that's the thing too with comedy, and when people get, it's like, but he wasn't trying to be gross. It's different when
Right.
something's being gross, and then it's like, you're like, no, he just screwed up what he was saying. I think,
He,
but
like
no,
he
Mushu's
didn't
great.
word that
And
correctly.
Cricket, yeah, listen, Cricket is a great little character too, and he don't even have words.
Cricket's just like a little sassy little. Like I love everything about Cricket.
Oh my God, is Shang a bi icon? Is he? I love that. Shang is the hottest one. Shang is the best looking Disney prince. I don't know what we call him, but
I mean, I don't even know if we can call him a prince, but Shang is just iconic. He really is.
Oh, Shang is the best. But no, I mean, yeah, all I'm saying is everybody can relate to feeling different, but definitely Mulan is like I could see where the gay community would rally behind it. But like I said, I remember being a little girl going, this is my shit. Like I said, my mom would have to hide it because I'd watch it repeatedly. But let's get to the best. Let's get to the best of the best. So we get to camp, even the rice tipping over and them fighting. I love it. I love all the side characters. I love Poe. I love, I don't know if I know all their name. Ling? What do they call? Ping. Ping was my best friend growing up.
No, and I was
you looking
like,
at your limp noodle?
Achu, Kazuntai, I'd kill myself. Like, Mushu.
But there's even funny stuff about being a guy now that I'm thinking about it. Like, that's what she says. I'm not going to smell like one, but they all come to take baths too, even though she thinks they're not going to. When Mushu says punch him, that's how they say hello. And it's like,
and then
not everybody does that.
I was like, oh, you've made a friend.
Yeah, what's the little fighting one's name? It's that guy is Ling. What is it?
Chow.
That's it. Okay, and the funny thing about Mulan too is like in Lion King we have Scar there a lot. In the villains in all of them are there kind of a lot more. We have the cuts to Shan Yu, but mainly it's the Emperor's twerp.
Oh yeah, that little
Shifu. That's who we don't like. That's like our enemy for the first half of the movie.
And like the way he was telling when at the end of the big training scenes and everything, like how they're progressing really well. He's like, they wouldn't last a second against the Hun. Once the Emperor sees my report, your boys will never see battle.
Yeah, he's actively against them.
And then how he was telling them those boys are no more fit to be soldiers and you're fit to be captain. Hold on here.
Right. No, but there's really good stuff in that too. Like I said, we see that Shang is having an internal battle and a struggle too when his dad's still there. We get little things of this dad's Shang and Mulan have like I said, everybody has that with their parents. He's a guy in a captain position in the military, and he feels the same exact way Mulan does. Am I making you proud, Dad? Am I doing the right thing?
Right.
But when the dad's still there and he's like, it's all gonna be good. We're gonna go to the past, yada yada yada. And it's we get that Shang's taking a lot on too. And this is his first time doing this. It's their first time doing this. It's everybody's first time doing this, and it's great. But like I said, there's just so many little things. But yeah, Shifu is the main scumbag, right. And I wish I knew it, but whoever that voice actor is, whenever he's in anything, I'm like, there he is. This asshole.
Oh yeah, you can just hear the undertones. Yep. It's just there's Shifu, a little.
Every bad manager or boss you have is that guy.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
The worst.
Just the little stuck up one, just always up the ass of the big manager.
No, that's what I was gonna say too. Is I always like that in the beginning when the captain Chang's dad's talking to the Emperor, who voices the Emperor? Is it? It's not Pat Morita. It's not.
I,
Is it Mr.
I
Miyagi?
honestly don't know who it is.
It might be Mr. Miyagi. But either I love how like he sounds like a nice grandpa, but also goes into like I'm in charge and does that very well. But when he says no, send your troops to protect my people, and they all go out. But the way that he handles stuff is great throughout it too. And he's a little character. Like the Emperor's not in it a lot, but
No, he's not.
But yeah, we see the little crony acting like, oh, I'm so great in front of you. But then the second the dad's gone, the second the Emperor's gone, now I'm the micromanaging piece of shit boss that is the worst, and who has also never done your job ever. But I'm going to continue to try to tell you what to do. Oh my god! But
what does this remind you of?
Can we talk about I'll Make a Man Out of You? Right, just that song alone.
Really? One of my favorite songs in the movie, honestly.
I have never seen a car full of gangsters sing to a Disney song until I'll Make a Man Out of You came on. And not ironically, dead seriously. I'm like, is this really happening? This is like a fever dream, right? And they were like, this is the shit, Abby. And I'm like, I just didn't expect you guys to be belting it out like this.
I love Make a Man Out of You. And especially like that part right in the middle where like she's just like failing at everything because like she's trying to do it. And then like when she's like
I love that Moocher's cheating.
He just comes up to her and just like, you're not suited for the rage of war. Just pack up and go home. How can I make a man out of you? And then she just turns around. She's like, no, I'm doing this. And like ends up being the first one to climb up the pole. Like just like succeeding in everything, just like full force, just like now one of the best ones in here.
It is my favorite thing. Well, now that you just said that, I'm like, holy shit, that was me at Ford. For real though. No, seriously, that's what happened. They were like, learn one job. And I'm like, I'm going to learn every goddamn job in here. And this is a true story, everybody. New people were there. I was in the back doing attendance. All of a sudden I get a call on the walkie-talkie. This guy was like, my dad's somebody, because he couldn't run the job. We normally didn't like shit talk people if they just couldn't do the job. But if you started acting a fool going, I'm going to call daddy or whoever, then it's like, we're going to make an example. And I remember my first team leader looked exactly like Kevin Garnett and semi-acted like Kevin Garnett. And all of a sudden I get over the walk. I'm like, what's up, Kyrie? And he's like, can you get out here for 5 minutes? And I'm like, sure. And then I get out, he goes, run this job. And then I did. They got so pissed. And they were just like, a girl did it. And I was like, yeah, no, I did it. And the other funniest thing ever was when somebody was absent one day. So I'm running this job all night. Everything's fine. I'm watching my tablet. I was watching The Mandalorian. Next day, the regular operator was there. And the boss was like, wait, where's the other person? Because they kept screwing up. And he just starts screaming at everybody. A girl does this watching Star Wars. What do you mean you can't do it? And I was just like, yes, I do. I do it while I'm watching Star Wars, don't I? But then I'm like, God, that was my whole mentality was like, okay, well, yeah, if you're going to piss me off, I'm just going to be the goddamn best at all of it just to piss all of you off. And I never realized that parallel until this very moment. I'm like, oh shit, that just happened. But no, when I was talking, musicals are hard. I think people forget that. So I give mad credit when people do them right, because I'm not a huge musical fan. Like I know the basics. I love The Music Man. I like Singing in the Rain, but I'm not like, but I do know it's hard to do. But the two main purposes of a musical are, you want us walking out of the theater singing that shit.
Right.
You want us walking out singing something or going like, oh, where's that one song at when we get to our car? But it also moves the story forward. You're telling us shit and you're doing stuff. Right. Like we're learning stuff. And I'll Make a Man Out of You. That's what I mean. Imagine if a movie came out today and they said, did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? I'm going to make a man out of you. And that's the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I can step up to the goddamn plate. And I think that's why it balances so well, is because it's like, we're not making it like man or woman, even though it is. We're making it, I can fucking do this. I can do it. Right. I can do it. Me on my own merit. I can do it. Don't tell me I can't for any reason, because all of us are flunkies out here. Right. Like, come on. And so I really love that. But you see Shang stressing, you see the Dark Side of the Moon lyric when he's stressing out, like looking down on the camp.
Just like sitting on the top of the camp, like, what am I doing wrong?
But this movie excels in that, of like, we're moving the story forward, but we're also showing everything. Same thing with Reflection, same thing with this. But when we finally get to the end and they're all getting it down, it is so satisfying and great. It is so
amazing.
And that is like a really realistic thing too, of like, anybody who's been in, I don't know, like in a group like that all together at something, and you're kind of like, oh, we're poking fun at you, like summer camp or anything like
Right.
or a team, like we're poking fun at you at first, but now it's like now we're all in this together. Like now we are all real, but like yeah, we were messing with each other and fighting with each other, but we're all in this together, and we get all of that across.
Yeah, and like
in one song.
they even like bring that more home, like in the scene where she's taking a bath in the pond,
We'll mess with
where
you, but
like
they can't.
where like he comes up, he's like, "Come on, I know we were jerks to you before, so let's start over."
Yeah. Let's all be pals, and I do love that. But I really do. I think this excels in that one. The only song I think in Disney that the only song that I think in Disney that like really it's great. Is Be Our Guest. I think that's like a great, but that's not the same. You know what I mean?
Your guest
But
is
it's so explosive and fun.
it's just like a freaking iconic, just like
Oh, it's great.
pop. Like I love it.
But it's not the same as that one. But like
It's not. It doesn't bring the same intensity and the same just like
when you hear
motivation.
No, it's different. It is different. But I'm like, when it comes to exciting thing I'm watching, the only other one I can think of is that. Or Under the Sea is a goddamn jam. If somebody doesn't like Under the Sea, don't allow them in your house. They're not trustworthy.
I will not trust anybody.
I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. Under the Sea comes on. You're like, this is a spot.
Okay,
it's great.
I might actually go a little bit against that too, because I will say Under the Sea, absolutely amazing, beautiful. I love it. But there's actually another song that's like above that one.
In your opinion?
I will say it's freaking Tarzan with Phil Collins.
Okay.
Phil Collins did not have to go that hard on these songs, and he did. Like he just went so amazingly hard with these songs, and I freaking love everything that he did with all of these songs in Tarzan, honestly. But just the main one where he's like, and I forget the name of the song. I'm blanking.
No, is it Son of Man?
Son of Man. There it goes. Yeah. Son of Man was just iconic, and I love how they made a meme of it.
I'll Be in Your Heart. Who doesn't cry at that?
Come on.
Like I said, they're always playing our mom strings.
Seriously.
But no, we don't talk about Bruno. I didn't think about that because I liked Encanto. I watched it. I did like that. But and I did like We Don't Talk About Bruno. I liked that. That was a jam. But here's the thing. I could not tell you one other song from that. The flower one?
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the movie, but I liked that it was different too. And I liked that it was like an internal little thing with a family. I thought that was smart because like family is hard no matter who you are. It doesn't matter. Like family is a complicated thing. But no, that's the thing is I don't think, but like Mulan is a true musical in that sense. And Disney always does well with that. They know what they're doing, obviously. But I feel like Mulan does it really well and gets even more info in. Like I said, we see Shang struggling. But when Mulan falls behind and he says, "Yeah, pack up, go home, you're through," and then she's just like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go twice as hard now. Let's go." Right. It's so good. And then when I'm just getting chills right now. This represents strength. This represents honor. And then her crawling up and getting that goddamn arrow and throwing it at his goddamn feet is. Is there anything more satisfying?
And then just like sitting on top of the thing, like the two weights is just like slung over his shoulder, like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about like they never once go like because they very easily could have went, oh my god, even a line of dialogue they don't do. Like let's say when Mulan got found out, if you heard in the crowd them go, oh my god, it was a girl the whole time. Oh, I can't believe a girl did that. Like, but they don't do that. It's just ping, Mulan did that, and I'm like, that's how you do it. And other people are the ones that are always going, girls should do this, boys should do this. When half the time it's just going like, can a person do something and not even bring it up at all? Like normally it's others bringing it up. They don't bring it up once in this. And like we were saying, it's not anything other than like, I want to protect my dad, you know? And it's like, I wouldn't mind if there was a more, what is the word I'm looking for? A more straightforward thing outside of that. But I'm not saying that's a problem. What I'm saying is this did it very well, especially I mean, and like I said, nobody was crying about it. I feel like if Mulan came out today, there'd be boycotts and riots. And then they'd be like, Asians and girls dressing up as boys? No, like they're being woke. And it's like, this is a ballad that's been around for thousands of years. I hate you all. But I just get so frustrated when I'm like, what did you say? Do you remember 20 years ago? Do you remember the characters we had? Like, what are you talking about? We always had this. But yeah, no. So then we get Girl Worth Fighting For, which so funny. So even now, it's I can see where idiots. It's kind of like when people don't understand Tropic Thunder, and I'm like that when they get mad about Robert Downey Jr. I was like, one, that was ballsy to do. That was after Iron Man. Imagine
that was probably the most ballsy move of his career.
So ballsy because you had to do it. You had to do it 100% right. Otherwise, it was
I'm a dude, just a dude disguised as another dude.
But I'm like, I was like, how do you guys miss this? The whole thing is that another black actor is there. And then when people are like, oh no, this is representation shit is new. I'm like, that's literally what they were saying in Tropic Thunder is you can cast a black person, stupid. We can cast a black person. There's one right there. And I'm like, a girl worth fighting for is kind of like that, where I could see people now going, oh, do you hear what they said? And it's like, they're making fun of it. That is the funniest line is when Mulan says, how about a girl who's got a brain who always speaks her mind? And they all go, nah. And it's so funny. It is so funny and good. And they're all talking about the girl they want. And
come on, can we just talk about the big guy Poe just being like, I couldn't care what she wears or what she looks like. All depends on what she cooks, beef, pork, chicken.
But this is one of the most impressive things I've seen in a animated film. And like I said, if you have not watched Mulan in a long time, like for real, I always say this about this and Jurassic Park and Jaws. I'm like, when you'll throw a movie on and be like, oh, I watched it, but really you didn't like watch it. You like vacuumed in between. No, sit down and watch one of those movies in the dark, fully paying attention. When you're fully watching Mulan, it's like, holy shit. And when this scene happens every time, like I lose my breath and it's like, oh, we haven't seen war yet. We haven't seen destruction yet. We haven't seen death yet. And we're all singing, marching off to battle and blah, blah, and seeing stuff. And it's all fun and games. And then it abruptly stops. And
it's just like all of like the carnage.
Yeah.
And I will say that was like another like really edgy thing that Disney did with that. Because like
having a war was edgy.
It's like you're not just seeing like, like a burned village. No, you're seeing bodies and like the banners and the horses just all there, just lying there dead. And it's like,
and I think this honestly, like, I love that. And I didn't notice this until I was an adult. And I guess you just don't really realize it is, she helps the little girl in the beginning get her doll back.
Right.
So then when she sees the other doll in this destruction, it reminds her of back home. Like this will happen at home too. But not only that, after Shang puts the sword for his dad in the ground, he looks back and she puts it at the bottom of the sword, putting this little girl you never knew in this village on par with your dad. You're saying that her life meant just as much to fight for as your dad being killed. And it's a little thing that it's like, you don't need to put that in a kid's movie.
And even like thinking about it like an even deeper level, like you have to remember China was a society that like praised its soldiers to like a god tier. Like they were like,
well, it's this great thing.
They were the elite on top of that. And now you're just placing this girl who was basically just a peasant girl in this village, putting her right there, sharing a burial site with like the general of the army.
Exactly.
Like, showing like, yes, like she meant just as much, if not more, because you were here to protect her and it wasn't successful.
It's the same as, like you just said, everybody's the same. A life is a life. It is what it is. And I didn't notice that until I got older. And I'm like, oh, I always remembered her putting the doll by the sword. But I never thought about it. Then I was like, but I always like when Poe comes up and he goes, the general, and gives him his dad's helmet. I'm like, oh my God, it's so sad. And then you realize like they're alone. Right. They're alone. They're all there is. And it's like,
and then thinking about that again, they weren't supposed to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Because Mushu made a freaking like fake letter saying that they need to be at the front, but now it's a good thing because guess what? They did not make it. The force was unsuccessful, and now we're the last stand. Like through this pass, we're the last stand unless they're going to make it to the capital.
I love that scene with Mushu though, when he's like, "What's wrong with you? You haven't seen a black and white before?" And then like the torso picking up and shit. I love that and he's like, "Oh, because Khan will give him a ride." And
he has to ride baby, we need a ride.
I don't know why I do. I love that scene. I really do. I love it a lot. But yeah, no, when they get to that, like I said, that abrupt halt, and then the village being burned, and all these dead bodies, and the dad being dead, and her realizing like this is hitting home now. This is really hitting home now. We're not having fun anymore, and they start to go into the past. But prior to that, okay, because Shan Yu finds when he says we got to return the doll to the little girl. Like I said, this guy's got the lines he has are so good.
evil.
Like, so they cut through fast. And like
There's
that scene, how many people does it take to deliver a message? One. That is,
that's just like one of the coldest lines ever.
there's a lot of little things in this. Like I said, the sword thing, the doll, like there's a lot of little things in this they didn't have to do, and they did, and it makes it great. And I love it so much. When we finally get through when we get into the mountain and we get into the horses coming over, and you start hearing, that's what I mean. I'm like, tell me another Disney movie where there's a war at all, a literal war, an army shows up.
There isn't.
There's the hyenas, but
that's not really. Oh, those are animals. Animals fight.
Another human is going to kill another one.
Right. Like that's not something that we see.
No, yeah. And it was
there's obvious like threats here and there. Just like, oh, like they're gonna destroy.
And yeah, Scar's committing like regicide and shit. Like, and then he's like, that's a great line then too. When he goes, kill him, and the hyenas go, that's a great one too. But it's not as menacing as.
Right, it's like this is a literal war, and then on top of that, like they're shooting cannons into the mountains at these archers and stuff, and it's like hold up, and then
when they start to fill up the top of the mountain,
yeah,
that shit is scary. That shit, it's like damn, and the music that comes in there too is great. Not just the songs they have, but the score that they use is great.
Exactly.
If we die, we die with honor. That's some shit you hear in Gladiator, man.
Exactly.
What's going on here? And like I said,
that was literally about to be a Spartan death. Okay, you got like these little like group of people holding off like this entire. They were even in a mountain pass. Like, come on, like that was like I almost feel like that was a Spartan reference. I mean, total.
Almost, yeah. No, but I really love when they're coming down and they go over the edge. I think that's like shot really cool. And like I said, when it comes to animation, I don't know the correct terms to use, but I'm like the way that he goes over the edge, the way that it's hanging is like, is that probably crazy and ridiculous? Yeah, but it's great. It's really well done. And the entire movie's like that. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep trying. It does not matter. Let me grab my laptop charger before this dies. But when they get, because that's what happened. Then she gets hit by Shan Yu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she gets cut. Blood.
Like
blood?
I was
shocked that they had blood in X-Men last week. I was like, oh shit, somebody got it with blood. I was like, this is crazy, Disney. We never
they showed a literal cut in her uniform and her moving her hand, and it's just covered in blood.
Yeah, no, yeah, that dude, that's the worst part of like when you get hurt is when you see it, and you're like, oh no. It's kind of like when you're a little kid too, like when you see a little kid fall and then they panic because you saw it. It's like, but that's what that is. As an adult, you're like,
and then like actually rewatching the movie, you see it happen. Like when she shoots the cannon and it hits the mountain, he turns around and slashes at her, and she actually falls back and she's holding onto her side.
She's crawling,
and as she's running and like
any other Disney female, not just princess, gets hit with a sword.
Her side.
Does that ever happen? Like, does they get attacked at all? I don't think
no.
Like, imagine if we watched Cinderella get backhanded by her sister or something. We'd go like, oh damn, like they don't get hit. Like, but no, okay, yeah, no, the smart girl line is right. Oh, Aladdin. It's Under the Sea is a jam. Aladdin, oh shit. Aladdin does have oh man, yeah. And honestly, that's what I mean about musicals. I thought the new Aladdin was fun. And I thought it was kind of, I don't think it's the best. They're all cash grabs, let's be real. I think that one had its own feel, and I had fun.
And I feel like they really did have to remake Prince Ali and Aladdin because nobody can stand to freaking Christopher. Okay,
Robin. I was just saying, no, but Robin Williams. Yeah, that's the one. I cried when I found out Robin Williams.
You can't.
No, you can't.
A candle to this man. So like they had to change it up.
No, not just that. When they announced Guy Ritchie was directing it, I was like, the guy who does Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, the guy that does like English crime movies is going to do this. I was like, that's wild. And then they said we're doing a whole musical number, and I thought that musical number for Prince Ali, it had to be great because, like you said, we already are going to be going. It's not the exact thing, but I thought, and I will say this: I think Will Smith did a good job. But how do you ever? You can't. But I think that, I mean, Part of Your World is pretty great too. Aladdin is good. But I didn't have it growing up. Oh, can we talk about Lilo and Stitch in a minute? No, that's a jam. I'm not going to pretend I can speak Hawaiian, but I will when nobody's looking, and I'm listening to the soundtrack.
I will not lie. I play Disney songs in my car sometimes, and
sometimes I do all the time.
If Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride comes on,
Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride, fucking what's the other one? I know it. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. No, Hawaiian roller coaster ride's great.
Like I am singing that at the top of my lungs. I don't know these words, but I am like sounding them out as best as I can because
Yeah.
I
Like I
love
said,
it.
here am I going to start singing things and offending people? No. Yes, I will sing it. I don't give a shit. Love it. It's so good. It's so good. But you're absolutely right. When Khan and Mushu's comedy is pretty great, and that's now that I'm thinking about Khan doesn't talk, Cricket doesn't talk. That's all Eddie Murphy, like with his talking
Right.
and the animation, and it's pretty stinking great. It is pretty great. But no, when we finally get, so we're in the mountains. Mulan is cut. That is a gross scene. Is when she takes the hand.
Yeah.
Away. And then I remember them saying restrain him. And I remember that was the first time I asked my mom what that meant. And she was like, that means like hold something back. And in my little kid brain, I remember being like, that's fucked up. Like they're just going to hold it back while they kill her. And they're really going to cut her head off. They're going to cut her goddamn head off in the fucking mountains.
And can we add one more detail to this? He was going to do it with her own sword.
Yeah. With your damn sword,
because he goes to the horse and pulls her.
Imagine if we put Belle in a guillotine. We all would have been like, the shit,
like,
even if it doesn't happen.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh my god, let me grab this charger. But no, but then Shang says that too. A life for a life. My debt is repaid. Like, we're not even saying I would have saved you. So you're saying you would let me get off if that shit wouldn't have happened back there.
Right.
And it's just like I said, as a kid, you can never understand the full magnitude. You know, you really don't understand like this girl's about to get beheaded. And I think they handle that well too. Of like, even as a little kid, I never thought like, oh, they're seeing her naked or anything. But when she sits up and she's got the wrap on, and it's like, no, you're very blatantly like your hair's down, and there's other things they do to go like, they didn't just go, hey, look at your tits are out, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they handle that really well. And I mean, even the original ballad is about war. It's about a warrior, so it's like. There's gonna be shit in this. She's dressing up as a boy. She could get killed. And it's like, so we do have to find out somehow. And so I think they handle that really well. And even as a little kid, I never thought anything weird about it, if that makes sense. I never thought like, oh, they're seeing her. It was just like,
oh, they found out she's a woman now.
Yeah, jigs up, I'm caught, you know. And I feel like even the animation style kind of changes when her hair is down, where her features are a bit more feminine looking, like her face is more in and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like if you look at a scene of her when she's in training versus when like they find out she's a woman, or even before that, her face is like more angular. Like it's like they have like soft.
It comes in, and I feel like they kind of. Not a lot, because they do it subtly, which is great. We could be totally wrong, but I feel this way. But I'm going to make it up and say it. I feel like they put like a little bit of eyelash on the end. Like just barely though. But no, I'll tell you what actually like startles me almost every time is, so we're about to we're about to cut off Mulan's head in the mountains. That's where we're at. And then we get to, how did pop out of the snow like daisies. That's a great line.
Freaking like iconic line.
That's like a great line.
Yeah, because they're like, we're gonna go home, and then like they're like reconciling with each other. Like he like admits that he was.
Oh yeah, they admit defeat a little bit.
Yeah, and he even like says like, yeah, you know, your ancestors didn't send me. They don't even like me. You know,
your life comes clean.
Yeah, he's like, you risked your life for love. I risked your life to help myself. And then Cricket coming up and then saying like, I'm not lucky. He's like, what do you mean you're not lucky? You lied to me?
I love that. Yeah, I'm not a lucky. And that's the thing too. Like same thing we were saying with R2D2 and Cricket. They're like, they do such a good job animating them, and they do such a good job with their noises that we know that's exactly what Cricket's saying.
He's like, he just starts like, you're not lucky? And then he starts crying, and then he's like, what do you mean you're not lucky? You lied to me? And then he looks at the horse like, and what are you, a sheep?
Yeah, I love that. No, I love that. And I do love that because Khan is king, I think, in like Genghis Khan or like chief. And I was like, oh, I was like that too. I like Khan. Khan doesn't get the credit he deserves either. He's awesome. It's a boy, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Lilo and Stitch is the best. I'm telling you, Lilo and Stitch is a movie that you can put on in any group and people are secretly going to be loving it the entire time until somebody's like, we all love this shit, right? I remember being little and really appreciating that. So when I first started at Ford, I was at like 252, my weight. Like I was never like, I was like big most of my life. And I remember I was pretty young seeing Lilo and Stitch and Nani and going, wow, someone who looks like me and my family and my sisters. And I really appreciated that. I'm like, Lilo's drawn like a kid, like a pudgy
Right.
little kid, like not fat, but like kids are pudgy. They got pudgy kid face. But I
I
also feel like
remember,
with the older ones, they tried to stick to like the actual people that live there too and their body type, which is
yeah.
Disney. You were doing a really good job before you were trying. Now that we're realizing it
Seriously though.
for real, like oh
But
man.
they can't do that now because like it's body shaming or like
Oh, now I get why Shang's a bi icon. That's what they said. The disappointment when Shang figured out Bay was a woman, male leaning bi icon. Okay, I totally didn't think about that. Good for you, Shang. Actually, I think I have a Shang action figure in my bathroom right
I
now.
didn't think about that until I
No,
saw that comment. Like, hang on a second.
but when they said it earlier, I was like, sure, let Shang be a bi icon. People can, whatever. That's cool. But I was like, what? But I was trying to think, like, oh yeah, that's
That's
it.
actually really good.
I love that. Good for you. And now that I'm thinking about it, good for you for not getting Shang, because you really did. You thought that was your boy for a long time. Yeah, love that. Yeah, no, Shang, you just jumped. I love Shang. I really do. He's great. I swear to God, no, I was like, I think because I have like a bin of toys for if the kids stay and they take like a bubble bath or something. And I was like, where did this come from? And it's like a Shang from Burger King. And I'm like, can you guys
Oh,
not break that? And then mom's like, they love playing with that and the other one to fight. And I'm like, okay, fine, you can keep it, but part of me doesn't want you to. But I'm like, no, they can have it. I think his arm's all messed up. But I'm like, I think there's a Shang action figure in what? But no, by Icon Shang. I never thought about that. The way it's the eyebrows, the thick eyebrows make her look. Oh, it could be the eyebrows. Yeah.
very well could be, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just really taken back that I'm like, oh my God, we're all focused on Mulan. Shang is a bi icon.
And can we talk about like some of the more edgy comments here too? Because
Sure. I know I'm terrible at this. Please,
when they
I
all
feel bad.
dress as a woman to save the emperor, right?
Right,
Okay, no. But that's not even the biggest thing.
Concubines?
Concubines. That's what I was going for because like they're like walking
Yeah, I
in
asked my mom
and
about
they're
that
like
too.
concubines, ugly concubines. Like, oh, hold up, dude. You really just said that these are the emperor's concubines?
I like that. I like that. That's the insult, not being a concubine.
Right.
Like, oh my God. But that's, oh my, I remember asking my mom about that too. And she was like, it's when people can have a lot of wives, and just like glared over it. It's funny because like my mom would answer things if I asked. Like she wasn't telling me like horrible stuff, but if I asked, so she was just like, it means somebody can have a bunch of wives. And I'm like, and then I get older and you actually read it and you're like, kind of not, like kind of not. But yeah, no, then it's like ugly concubines are even worse. Like, geez, but I do forget about that too, that they dress up, and it works like fundamentally for a film because we're going back to the beginning and bringing this full circle of this is something I know, and that's true. A lot of times people go, we just did it with True Detective. We just did it with True Detective. We're going to underestimate these women. We're going to underestimate. I mean, a lot of things have done that. Native Americans did that. They said, let me hide all this shit under your shit and get in, like, and then we'll launch our attack. Because a lot of times people look at women and go, oh, they can't do nothing wrong. Right. They're a lady.
And like he even made the guy lower his sword. Like he like grabbed, like pushed his sword down. Like, no, they're just concubines.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, oh, women can't be a threat. And that's been a thing forever. But I always love when it's like, no, here we go. But that thematically for a film, it works of like bringing it back around full circle of something that I know how to do outside of the things you guys taught me. So plot and character arc shit, it makes sense. But also, yeah, let's have a bunch of dudes in the military put on dresses to win today.
That was just awesome.
Nuts. I just want to make people mad.
And then they freaking like had fruit in their bras.
I like when they smash that. But that's the other one. I will not bow. I'm like the wind in the mountain. I will not bow to you.
Oh yeah, no matter how loud the wind howls, a mountain will not bow to it.
You will bow.
And you'll die. Then you'll bow in pieces. Like hold the fuck up, my man.
Jesus.
Like you were about to murk this man in front of like an entire crowd of people.
Like, yeah, that Jesus. Too. I didn't even think about that. But no, that's what I was going to say. That scares me. So we get to, this is a great line, by the way. This is a fantastic line. This is when we finally get to the city and Mulan's still trying, riding into the parade, stops them in the middle of the parade. And that's what I mean here. Every time we keep showing this girl going like, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. It's not, to her, it's not even, I'm a girl or a woman. It's, I'm going to do the right goddamn thing. Like, I don't give a shit.
And how he goes up to Shang and he's like, "You said you trust Pink. How is Mulan any different?"
It's like, my favorite thing.
Oh
it's my favorite thing. Why is Mulan any different? And then and you can tell he's like, I'm a jackass. Well, yeah, you're gonna let me get my head cut off too. But and now I'm like, maybe that's why, because he really wanted her to stay a boy. But I'm like, then he was disappointed. Oh my god, and I'm just kidding about that. But no, that's a great line.
No, and then I feel like she got the idea of like dressing them up as women as well. Also because when she's in the crowd trying to get somebody to listen to her, like anytime she would go up to someone, but
that's the best too.
Like they're just like shrugging away from her, like, "Yo, get away from me, woman." And then that's when she's like, "They're not gonna get there in time." And he's like, "Wait, I have an idea. Nobody's going to question a woman, or nobody's going to suspect a woman. Let's go."
And then but they do utilize what they learned in the military too with climbing up the pillar. So it's like I love that whole part of it. But when she does stop them and they're like, no, but this genuinely makes me jump almost every time. And I love those. I don't know the correct term for them, but the dragons people are under.
Oh yeah,
I would love to participate in that. But like I said, with my paley white skin, did you hear about the pinata thing I want to do? We'll talk about it later. Pinata life. But I was like, if one of these Southwest podcasts don't do a pinata thing, I don't care how many comments I get about cultural appropriation. I'm doing it. I love, my cousins were from that. I love pinatas. I need an ornately sculpted thing to hit with a broom handle with electric tape on the bottom of it. It's my favorite thing. It reminds me of my childhood. But we need an uncle.
Electric tape on the bottom is so
you know what I'm talking about. And then you have two uncles drinking a beer, and it's through the basketball hoop, and they can't directly hit you with it. They can't directly smash you, but there's a delicate dance that they do, and then it's like, then you get hit. Oh my God, it's my favorite thing. But I don't want to say, but I'm like, I would totally participate in that. But then you see me pop out from underneath this paper dragon, and people are like, what are you doing, Whitey? Stop this. But I'm like, whatever that thing is, I love them. They're the coolest thing ever, and I want to participate in them in some type of parade. So if other people want to do it, and you need somebody in the dragon costume, I'm down. I think they're the coolest things ever in real life. I think it's so cool.
I mean,
I'm just like, we fucked up a lot of shit. So I can totally understand when people are like, you can't participate. And I'm like, I get it. But if you ever need someone to participate, when they pop out, but the bad guys kind of do the same exact thing Mulan does.
Right.
They pop out of a disguise. Like, you're not showing up how you are.
Right.
And I love it. But when they pop out of that, it's genuinely scary because it's like moving up behind them still in the shot. And like I said, those are things where if it was real people, that is creepy as shit. And it's like,
but you know one thing too, you also see Shang, like, he's starting to get suspicious. Like, as they're going up the steps, like, he's starting to get suspicious, and you see him like actually like drawing up his sword when like the dragon.
I think he's starting to question, like, was Mulan right?
Yeah, because like the dragon's getting closer, and then he starts seeing things. He hears the eagle, and that's when he's like reaching for his sword, and that's when the other guys are like, "Oh wait, he's onto us!" Just burst out and grab him.
Okay, let's get to. I like that eagle design. I do like him, and I like that they have something to face off with Mushu. Does Mushu say directly that he's Batman?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Does he?
No, he goes up in the kite, and then he's just like, when they're like, "What? Who are you?" "I'm your worst nightmare."
Worst nightmare. That's it. Okay. That's it. Okay. Oh my God, Ping and Shang's chemistry. Soldiers doing drag during World War II was a real thing. Dude, people doing drag all the time is the thing. That's why I'm like, what planet are people on? Like, this has been going on. I'm like,
it's been since like the.
Do you guys remember Shakespeare?
Century. Like, okay, and honestly, you can see this too if you watch. Have you seen Sherlock Holmes?
Which one?
The first one.
The series or Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you see the scene where he's like doing like the little fight in like the little arena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at the end of it, he goes and like takes the money from the guy, puts it down and grab a beer. But if you look in the crowd, there is clearly a guy dressed as a woman in there.
Have you ever seen Gangs of New York? Because when they do the dance scene, there's two men dressed up. There's a whole gang that dresses up as women to rob people, but then they show them again at a party. That's what I mean. I'm like, this has been around since the dawn of time. I don't know what the shit anybody's talking. And then I say that people get real mad at me when I say this. I was like, well, I showed up at a factory in a Carhartt and Dickies every day. Was I? Oh my God, are we gonna have a conniption about it? Like, chill. How about it's cloth? Wear whatever the shit you want. But like I said, this movie handles it in a way of like, it's not that, it's taking what we both know and appreciating it. And I love that about it. But I also love that it's fireworks that take him out, by the way, because I'm like,
that was just freaking amazing.
It's great, but it's like they were made there. Like China made them.
To be honest, I almost I kind of wish it was a little bit more of a gruesome death. I'm guessing just because like the
Well,
whole
you
thing
had the
has
whole
been
movie being gruesome.
gruesome.
You should have stayed with it.
This whole movie has just been gruesome as hell, like from the very beginning.
You
Okay,
should have shown him fall
yeah,
at
but then they
minimum.
just show him like get shot like with the thing, and just like I'm ready,
Shang
baby,
just cuts his head
light
off.
me, and then just freaking like
Yeah.
gets shot out.
No,
Also,
that's
can
because
we
like
talk about how is it that he's now able to produce fire this quickly? Because in the beginning, when he was like, "Watch this," here it was just like a little tiny ember, but now he's like lighting a match for his like freaking
yeah.
fireworks and everything, and now he's just like breathing fire on the freaking like falcons. It's like now
Speaking of
that's what I call a
flames,
Mongolian barbecue.
yeah. Speaking of flames, though, and I didn't think about is in the mountains when it happens. And how did you miss? He was 3 feet in
In
front of
front
you.
of
Is a
you.
great line. I wonder how much Eddie Murphy ad libbed. He had to have ad libbed some stuff.
He has
It's
to
Eddie
have.
Murphy. Like, here we go. Yeah, I'm. You know what makes I? No, I want to say that it was supposed to be I'm Batman, and maybe I read this, and then like a lawsuit almost happened. Something like that's why I was like, does he say Batman? But I was like, I heard that somewhere. Shine you even more scary looking. The what? Yeah, the black eyes and then making him yellow is like scary. That is scary. He's a scary villain. He's a good villain
Seriously.
for sure. But no, yeah, I love I think all of his lines are great, but when he says when she not quite and then puts her hair up, the soldier from the mountains. He doesn't say
Right.
man, he doesn't say woman, he doesn't say, oh my god, it's a
It just
girl.
says the
He just
soldier
goes the
from the
soldier from the
mountains.
mountains. And he's pissed. He's like, you're the one who got me. You got one over on me, and I respect that. The
Like
soldier from the mountains.
that is actually such an amazing thing, and it's something that I noticed more as when I watched it again and got older. Is like yeah, like he's he's pissed and
He
he
doesn't,
wants
yeah,
to
he doesn't
kill
see there's
you.
nothing but like, oh, this motherfucker
Like
got
but
one
like
on me.
he's actually giving you respect because
Mhm.
it's like no wait like you're right, he's not
Yeah,
saying like the woman or the man, no, the soldier from the mountains,
that
like
line always
he's
gives me chills when I hear it.
recognizing you were a soldier, like
Yeah,
you did it.
the fear they show on his face too is like, well, not it's more of like a mixture of like fear and like I'm pissed, but also like shit, you were crafty before. You
Right.
might be crafty again. And she is. She doesn't get him with physical combat because that's kind of how it is as a lady. We gotta slinking out, moving, know where the exits are. Get off the roof, get off the roof, get off the roof. Like we
Yeah.
gotta know we
And
can gab and run.
how she disarmed him with a fan. Like she pulls out the fan and he's like, "Oh, looks like you're out of tricks." And then she freaking like blocks it with a fan and just like takes it out of his hands. Like not quite.
That's so good. It's so good. And that's what I mean. There's not a lot of dialogue going on that roof, but it's great. It's great. And then Ming Na Wen is I always know her voice. That's Fennec Fox. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And I love Fennec. And every time I'm like, I love you, Mulan. I love you so fucking much. You're the fucking best. I love you so much. Or no, that's not. Yeah, that's somebody. No, but no, that's her, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it
Or
is.
am I mixing her up? No, that's her, right? Fennec?
Yeah.
Yeah. I for a minute I thought I was mixing her up with the other lady. Shit. I need to rewatch it then if I'm mixing this up. But either way, I stand anything she does. And I like that even though the live action one was not good, I did like that she got a cameo at the end. I did like that. But how about Mulan and the Emperor? Like that is such a girl like that only comes around a girl like that doesn't come around every dynasty. And I'm like,
that was hilarious because he's like Shane's like looking at her gleeve and he just comes over and drops like the like wisdom instead, like go after her. And he's like, sir, a girl like that doesn't come every dynasty. Just puts on his flaming hat. There's still smoke coming out of it and just walks away.
You can have his job.
Oh, that was my favorite thing that he's the.
I always took that as like the Emperor knew he was a shit. And like this guy really thought he was getting one over on him. I need to know who voiced him. I really do. I think it is. Is it Pat Morita? It might be. But no, I love
and I also love this part where she wants to go home because that was actually true to the actual ballad. In the actual ballad, like she had received like medals and everything. Like she was like climbed the ranks of the army. And in the end, when like they were asked like what reward she would want, she in the ballad she had said she wanted a fast horse to go home.
Right. Who doesn't just want to go home? But no, that I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I cry almost every time at the end of that. And it's so good is when she just says like she says, I just want to go home. But when he first starts yelling at her And he's like, you destroyed my palace, you did this, and he's like, and you saved us all. And everybody starts to
And then he
bow.
bows down to her, which was like the biggest thing. And then like everybody just bows to her. And
It's
it's
so
like now
good.
they're showing respect to this woman who literally did
Who
save
you all were treating like shit.
Like literally, yeah, you were all treating her like shit and pulling away from her.
How stupid did those people in the crowd feel after?
Seriously.
Like, oh, that girl came up and said they needed help, and I told her to fuck off. But no, when she gets home and is like, Dad, and he's just looking at her, and then she says, "Here's the crest of the emperor. Here's," and like we were saying, it's at the bottom of it. It's making your parent. You think your parent wants all this stuff, but really they're like, no, you are.
Yeah, because he just like looks at the sword and the crest,
throws it on the ground,
throws it on the ground, and just hugs her.
And the way she looks at it, like, what? Like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, that's important. She's like, no, you're important. Like, you might have thought I needed all this and that, but you are what's important.
And now he tells you the greatest gift and honor is having you as a daughter.
I cry every fucking time. But
I tear up just talking about it. Like, then,
I know. That's why I'm like, I can't say it because I'm going to get emotional. But when they say it earlier when she's, because even in the beginning, after she screws up, he's trying to cheer up and says, you know, the cherry blossom that blooms the latest is the most beautiful and rarest of all. And it's like, oh my God. And also realistic bullshit some guy does of going like, you left your hair tie. I'm here. I brought your shit back. And it's like, and he's like, I brought your helmet. Like, and I love that.
And then he's just like getting tongue tied. And then he's just like, oh, actually, it's like your helmet, right? Actually.
It's actually yours. And I love that when they first get there, they know his. That's the thing too. We don't hear about it, but we know the dad was a badass when they're like Fazu. Fazu. Like,
he's like, I didn't know Fazu had a son. I'm like,
yeah, and they're like, oh shit, man. They were probably like geeking. They're like, who the shit is this? But it's like we know the dad was a badass, you know. And that's what I mean, man. Now I'm thinking about it. We need this prequel. We really do. But no, that is man. That line with the everything is great. But like I said, when he throws the shit on the ground is my favorite part, and it's just like this don't mean shit. Like, you mean something to me. You're my daughter. And it's like, oh my God, I love it. And Sign Me Up for the Next War is great. And why did 98 Degrees get to do the ending? I love the song, but I don't know if you guys remember the Stevie Wonder 98 Degrees collab of the 90s. What was it? True to your heart. You must be true to your heart. You guys know what I'm talking about?
That was just such a bop.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm like, why did they get to do that? What happened to 98 Degrees?
I don't even know.
Oh, man, imagine having the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC back then and being in 98 Degrees. You probably were like,
dude,
we don't even fucking matter. No, I love whatever, you know.
No, but
okay, yeah, good. We can keep doing Disney reviews. I'd love that.
But the grandma just being like so iconic and just like because she's like, she brought home a sword. If you ask me, she should have brought home a man. And then he walks in and she's like, whoa, sign me up for the next war.
I love that line. I do. And I love like I said, they do a really good job. Because normally in animation, and like I said, Disney does do a good job. But I'm trying to think of other ones where I'm like, are characters in the background like making like emoting their faces as much as they do in Mulan? I don't think I can name another one where as many characters that are only there for like 2 minutes or like not even 30 seconds we know exactly how this mom is. We know exactly how this dad is. We know exactly how this grandma is in very quick time. And I'm like, I can't think of other ones. I will
say me, and this might be controversial, but I feel like it was pretty good, pretty well done with Princess and the Frog.
I love the Princess and the Frog. I do like the Princess and the Frog.
Mama Odie, come on.
Yeah. No, okay, I'm gonna mix it up because I just did this talking about it. It's not Papa Legba. It is Dr. Facilier. Dr. Facilier. He's got to see you on the other side or whatever. Friends on the other side.
Friends on the other side.
Because I was hitting a like point of, you know, when you hit that age of like, oh, this isn't cool no more. I don't want to watch Disney. So like Princess and the Frog came out around that era of like I'm getting a little too old, but whatever. So I watched it a little bit later on, and I remember being like, this is the shit. Like, this is cool. And the guy who voices him, he's in a ton of stuff. He's in that, like, you're in hell now. Like, oh my God, what is that actor's name? I know who he is, but he's got the perfect voice.
I don't know the name of it. Honestly, I don't know who voiced him.
No, you'd know him if you saw him. You would. Yeah, you would know him if you saw him. And he's like normally in comedy stuff, but he's so good as that character. That's a great character. And they used him they did like designs of him in, I liked the new Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
I had fun.
The Haunted Mansion, yeah, they think they were supposed to remake it for that.
It's good. I liked it. It's on Disney Plus.
I haven't gone to it.
It's
so.
all right. It's a Rosario Dawson's in it. She's good. And I can never remember the actor's name, but the main black guy with the dreads has the kindest, nicest. I think he was in Atlanta. He's really funny. He's in it. Danny DeVito's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the greatest?
I did watch it the other day, actually.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's funny. And I thought he was
good.
really funny. I was like, oh my God, I like him. He's great. And but they painted Dr. Facilier on on a moving truck or something. And I was like, oh, that's cool because it's all in Louisiana. I was like, oh, I like that.
I was like, you're really hitting the roots here, and I love it.
But that's another one. Princess and the Frog did a really good job. Like same thing, but with race. Like and her and that girl being best friends, but we don't need to say things to people like dumb little idiots. But also we're getting themes and messages across appropriate age level for kids.
But also
it doesn't need to be discussed.
But also how I love how the dad was employing this poor woman to make all the dresses for her daughter. And like the daughters are now like best friends growing up. And then he's like, oh, can you do that? Well, anything from like my favorite, like my best client. And she has like all the dresses that this girl has wanted. Like there. And then like. And
what year is that supposed to take place in? Like the 20s or some shit?
I think it was supposed to be around that time.
Like, because they're like wearing flapper dresses and stuff. I think that movie looks like beautiful. Like the entire backgrounds and stuff are really pretty. I need to rewatch The Princess and the Frog.
I loved it. And like honestly, my whole favorite thing of it was Mama Odie.
Oh, Mama Odie's great. Well, that's the thing. Like,
she's just and can we just say Disney, take some advice from Mama Odie? Okay? Because what did Mama Odie say? Money ain't got no soul. Yeah, Disney, take your own advice, goddammit.
Right, for real. But also, I love that because that's a real thing with that culture specifically. Is like there's always a opposite side too, and it's like we have him dicking around with stuff, but then there's Mama Odie who's like, no, I dick around with this too, but I don't put energy to that other shit. And it's like, and I love that. And I guys, and they use that's another one where animals are used really well, like the alligators, all that stuff. Like Louisiana itself is very well used in that. I need to rewatch it, but yeah, no, Shang's a bi icon. We need the dad prequel. Seriously,
I would love a dad prequel because
the lightning bugs are cute too. Yeah.
Oh, the lightning bugs are just amazing, and how how the freaking light bug freaking attacked the demons and was like lighting up his blood and like hitting them with it. It's just like
I don't know. I'm guessing amazing. There. I'm just making up bullshit. I said because it's light, but I do get that. I didn't care for Princess the Frog. The first Black Disney princess spent most of the movie as a fucking frog. Lame. I can understand that because then part of me goes, Disney, did you not want to play a person on screen very long? What just came out? I really loved. I had a good time watching the new Little Mermaid. I think that. I'm gonna. Oh my god! I almost said. Interview with the Vampire. I almost said that actress's name. She's in Avatar now. Bailey Bass. That's not her. Halle Bailey. She seems like a really sweet human being, and I thought she did a really great job as Ariel. I really did. Yeah. What was it? My favorite thing I ever saw? No, but did I have fun? Yeah. But part of me was like, I loved having all the different daughters, right? And I loved when they were like, oh, they're all from different parts of these seas, right?
Right.
But then I was like, you can't have a whole Black family? Like, I get it. It makes sense for the 7 seas and stuff. But I was like, Disney, are you doing it because of that? And it's creative. It's cool. I like seeing them. And then you can have a bunch of little girls or boys or whoever go, somebody looks like me. So I'm always there for that shit. But I'm like,
why?
We don't always have to have and not that I have anything against this, obviously, with my family. Can we have a Black family or an all Hispanic family or an all whatever family that isn't Whitey McWhite instead of making them mixed? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to not do that? That's when my PR brain starts kicking in, is when I'm like, right. I like this. This is cool. But is it that? And now when she said about Princess and the Frog, I'm like, were you being weird, Disney? Were you being weird? I don't know. But I did like Princess of the Frog. I remember that. I do remember. I need to rewatch it. Is Naveen an idiot? Is Prince Naveen a moron?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's like a moron walking around. Like he's like the person that goes and visits 8 Mile because he likes Eminem's movie and then gets robbed.
He's literally just a spoiled brat who just wants money again.
What? I don't remember him that way.
Just wanted to get married just so he will be rich again.
Oh my! Do you want to know what I need to? This is what I mean. I'm technically technology inept. We should do a ranking list of the princes.
I would love to do that.
That'd be funny, based on something. The Jungle Book soundtrack is underappreciated. And I know there's some issues in it, but the Elephants on Parole is one of my favorite things. And it's not even like a song, but I really like it. And then what's the other one? I mean, King Louie's got jams, but then I'm like, the cartoon's kind of, but I'm like, if you weren't
King
being so
Louis,
weird with it, but it like the song itself
I'm
is,
gonna tell you right now, King Louis song is one of my favorites.
it's great. It's great. But I'm like, I feel like the animation gets a little odd at times where I'm like, I don't know. I loved the new one. I did. I really did. And I thought they did a really good job. I loved it. I really did.
And I will say it's one of the few times that when I watched the live action of the Jungle Book.
Trust in Me. I was just about to say that, but I was like, does that count as a song? Sorry. Trust in Me. I'm sorry. Keep going, Angel.
The live action of the Jungle Book was actually great. Yeah. I actually really loved it, and how they portrayed King Louis as like just this giant, all-powerful monkey. I absolutely loved that.
I love the way that they didn't go for the songs completely, but did them enough but they also played to the actor's strengths.
Right.
And they played to like, because do you think Christopher Walken's really going to like go belt out a jazz tune? I mean, he might, but I just
could.
But it also worked for the animal he was, because it was like, I'm a big thing that's not going to do, I'm going to speak to you like a mobster a little bit. I loved that. And Baloo is great. That's what my sister says about.
Oh my God.
I say that all the time. Fall apart in my backyard.
That's just, he's just been like one of my comfort characters.
I call all my nieces and nephews Man Cub. I'll be like, come on, Man Cub. And then I'm like, God, maybe I shouldn't say that in public. It sounds weird. Bare Necessities is great. Yeah.
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Oh my God.
What? Excuse me. Stop. I need to read this aloud. I need to readjust. Disney is being weird. I don't know if you've seen Soul, but the black male protagonist. I need to tell Roach about this. He's going to shit a brick. I guarantee you I could call him and he's going to be like, what the fuck did you just say? But the black male protagonist spends the movie possessed by a white woman's voice. Excuse me? Wait, what? I thought that was about like jazz. How do you even put white people in that? Not that white people can't play jazz. I'm just saying.
I'm just going to
Disney, go all in. That's what I mean. Stop being a bitch. Stop going like, we have a black character. And then they're like, but don't worry, everything around them is white. And then it's just like, oh, why can't they just be that? Like, that's what I mean here. Like, just, oh, wait, Coco's great. Coco, they did well. But like, but beautiful. One of the most beautifully done animated films.
One of the things that I will say about Coco, though, that
Pixar,
kind of,
right? Same shit, but
one of the things that kind of irritated me about Coco is the way they portrayed the family.
Okay.
Like trying like to push him into like their way, which to be completely honest is very accurate. That happens in a lot of Hispanic households. Like, you know, I clearly am went into medicine, and my dad was like still trying to teach me like concrete work and stuff and the stuff that he did. So like I completely get that. But like, and a lot of times it's more of a nourishing, like, okay, you want to pursue your passions, let me help you with that. But at the same time, I want you to learn this because this is what you're going to fall back on.
That, and also I want to know you can take care of yourself to an extent.
Right.
Like, yeah.
So like the way that they were just like forcing him and like smashing his stuff, like, you're not going to do this.
Yeah.
That kind of seemed like a little bit like off. Like, I'm like that's not what a lot of us
also do. Then you're kind of going like, abuse is okay and everything, you know, like let's stand on your shit. Like, okay, Dad, let's not. But animation wise, it is one of the most beautiful things ever.
Oh, I love how they did the Alebrijes. I love how they portrayed the world of the dead, and like really like connecting the whole celebration of the Day of the Dead as a memory of your family. And that is one of the key things that I love that they really like honed in on, like that family is everything. And how at the end he's like with like his like youngest like cousin or whatever, and holding her up so that she can see like the pictures and everything. Is like, yeah, like they're not just pictures, they're our family.
Yeah, no, because that's my thing too. It's like, I say this all the time, and I'm not kidding when I say it. I'm like, put a monster in my casket, put a joint in there, like put some shit in there with me, man. But I'm like, man, because All Saints Day, All Souls Day, like a lot of cultures have something on that same of like El Dia de los Muertos, like it's the same day, but all different. A lot of people celebrate that day, but Mexico got it goddamn right. And I love it because it's like saying goodbye sucks. Saying goodbye is the worst, but remembering them and celebrating them is what's important. Like, man, I'm Irish, man. I did not understand people not having like the most lit wakes of all time after. For like, I went to other funerals. I'm like, what do you guys mean you don't have coolers outside the viewing door, like of the what?
There's no DJ.
Like all week long, my uncle's been out there drinking. Like, it's an Irish wake. You have a party. We cry during it, but you have a party. You celebrate them after that. You celebrate their life. I tell people that all the time. Literally wrap me in a sheet, stick me in my yard, and all I truly want is stacks of notes for people to get off work. I don't want people to go to work, and I don't want people's kids to go to school. I don't give a shit if you barely know me. I want stacks of them. I'm your niece, I'm your grandma, I'm your aunt, I'm your mom. Bullshit. Everybody take stacks of notes and take the day off. That's all I want. You do not have to get dressed up, wear sweatpants, and have a good time. That's what I want. Like, truly, because I'm just like, celebrating their life and remembering the good stuff is important. It really is. And it's hard to say goodbye, but remembering, like, whether or not you believe there's an afterlife, they're out of pain or they're out of whatever. And you know what I mean? And I'm like, I love the way Coco shows not just the traditional stuff, but like, it's colorful, it's bright, it might be the end, but you know what I mean? I loved that. I thought it was great.
But
and I
the
love
family is still there with you.
Okay, yeah, back to Soul. Are you guys? I don't know how to watch things live, but I want to try. What the fuck is going on with Soul? I need to know. Dude, the live actions aren't even really worth it. But I will say the new Beauty and the Beast, I think, did pretty good. I like that.
The Beauty and the Beast was actually one of like my favorite live actions.
No, and they did, but do you want to know what they did really well? Be our guest.
They really did.
Went all out. They went balls to the wall. And that was the problem with Under the Sea in the new Little Mermaid, is that they weren't involving everybody. We weren't talking to the carp. We weren't doing all the shit. And I'm like, I need all the shit. And I'm like, you need to go all out for Under the Sea. All out. It's kind of like Just Can't Wait to Be King. You got to go all out. That Lion King shit pissed me off so bad.
Oh, and one more thing, because it's getting late. I might have to like leave in a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah, no. I'm gonna try to, just so everybody knows here, like I may try to watch the Interview with the Vampire movie live, like with people, but I don't know if that will work. So don't quote me. But keep going, Angel.
One thing that before I go,
then I have a question for you
that I really had to touch on. One of the most amazing songs that I think from Lion King, and this actually came from Lion King 2.
Stop. The greatest. He is not one of us. Which one?
Yes.
Oh, He Lives in You?
The Exile one.
He is not one of us. Yeah. No, I almost got.
That was such an intense song, and it's like just the build up to it, where he's like sitting there and he tells them, when you first came here, he's like, when you first came here, you asked for judgment, and I pass it now. Exile.
Simba.
It's like, oh my god, the freaking intensity in this song is amazing.
It's great. Next time we do this, we should do sequels that are better than people say, but Lion King 2 is genuinely good. It has a genuinely decent soundtrack, but He Lives in You is from the musical on stage. It is one of the best and does not get talked about enough. I almost got that tattooed, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to get a bunch of lyrics tattooed. Not that anything's wrong with that. I just didn't feel like it. But I almost got Pride Rock tattooed too, but I ended up not doing that. But I love Lion King. That's what I try to tell people. I'm like, when you're like 6 and don't have a parent, that shit kind of does like help. Like, because here's the thing. Here's what happens when you're 7 years old and you're all in a group at recess and somebody's like, my dad does whatever. And then you're like, oh shit, we're going to get to me and I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to go, he's dead. And the whole mood is about to change. And now I feel awkward because I made everybody else feel awkward. But those things like that, like going home and going like, oh, their dad's dead. So like this happens, you know, like it's a thing. Like, but Lion King and Mulan, Lion King and Mulan really have special places in my heart because of that. But yeah, He Lives in You that's a freaking bop. It's so freaking good. But so is, I've never heard anybody else bring that one up, is He Is Not One of Us. That's so good. And I like You Pendy too.
Oh yeah.
Homer's a great character. Zero's a great character. Making it Lion versus Lion. We'll do this another day because I have a question for you and you need to go to bed because you have a real job. And if you guys want to, what are we saying? I'm trying to get better at comments. Tell me they just made they made weird choice. I'm gonna try and watch this Soul. I'm gonna make my friend Roach from Medical Mondays watch it because he will be like, what? The shit? Oh my god. I'm gonna be like, I need you to watch Soul and send me notes, and I'll show them to you guys because I guarantee they'll be funny. Oh my god. Don't skimp on the great songs in live. Exactly. You can't skimp in live action because here's the problem. They go, we're going too real, and then we don't have the wackiness. But
Right.
like the Lion King goes full crazy for I Just Can't Wait to Be King. And what a goddamn jam that is. Like,
Freaking amazing.
oh, but one thing I want to say, and then I will ask you this question. That's another villain where, I mean, I think we all agree. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're bi. I don't give a fuck. If you do not love Idris Elba, there's something wrong with you. He's just cool. He's just good looking, and he's got one of the best voices for anything. But he does Shere Khan in the new one, and that was one of the most crazy villain things I've seen. Is when he goes, and then we have my boy. He's back there, Gus Fring, Giancarlo Esposito doing the Wolf Dad, and they're going back and forth. And I'm like, God, I have like two of the best voices talking to each other.
It was amazing.
But when all the wolf puppies are laying up on the rock, and Dad and Mom come home, and they're like, Shere Khan's up there with them, and then they're like, come on, come in the cave. What the fuck? And they go to run, right? And then Shere Khan just puts his paw down and blocks the one from leaving, and then starts turning his head. And I'm like, and then Idris Elba starts talking, and I'm like, that's really scary. And he's just like, yeah, let's listen now. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I loved him as Shere Khan. But outside of the Lion King, top 3 soundtracks ever. Because I have one that I'm like, I'll argue it. I'll fight it.
Tarzan.
Okay.
Because my boy Phil Collins went.
I had
so
a friend
hard
at
on
work
these.
that was younger than me, obsessed with Phil Collins. What's up, Donnie? Took every concert off to see him. He was like, he's the best man that ever lived.
Yeah, so Phil Collins with Tarzan for
Okay.
sure. Mulan, obviously, because I loved Mulan.
No, Mulan really does have jam after jam.
All of the songs in Mulan, absolutely loved them. And this may be controversial, but I'm going to say the first Black Panther movie had an amazing freaking soundtrack.
No, great, because you want to know who else? First off, a white man did that. A white German man did that. I was shocked when they I was like, who's this guy? I was like, it was a whole black production. That's what I was like, who's this fucking guy? And they were like, German, whatever. He does The Mandalorian. He does Boba Fett. Yeah, he's great. But the most adorable shit ever is that he's German and came over for a foreign exchange student program or some shit to go to college. Ended up in Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther's dorm. So he was like, I just thought this was like the music everybody listened to, like with bass and hip hop and everything. And he was like, so that's just, and then they showed me their music and I was already going, and I was like, this is adorable that you just were like, you're my friend. I think you can do this. Come on. Cause I'm just like, I'm just saying, go and listen to Black Panther's music and watch the movie. And then you're like, this German dude did this. And then I was like, oh my God, that's adorable. That's your boy. And it's like, but it's so good. It is so well
amazing.
done. It's some of the most, that is a beautiful score too. Like just in general, it's great. But I will say, we could argue scores, but see, I was going to say this. I think Hercules is top 3. I don't give a shit what nobody says.
I forgot Hercules.
Shit. And I'm sorry, when this new one comes out, I don't want Lizzo. I don't want Beyonce. I want soul, gospel, singing women that get a shot and aren't, I mean, I don't want them to be huge names. I don't. Like, they can be, but I want gospel singing, give somebody else a shot. I need it in my life. That's right. The Muses are the shit. The Muses are so good. But then Kirk was on a roll.
I'll be completely honest with you. The actual movie of Hercules was not my favorite Disney movie. It honestly was not. I didn't get very into it. But I will say the music in this freaking movie, freaking incredible. And I loved it.
No, it's great. And the way they do it is really cool. I really like the way the Muses come in. But then we have like I even like Meg's song. I won't say I'm in love is good. It's not the greatest thing I've ever heard, but I like it. And I like the message behind it. And I love Meg as a character. I love Hercules, but it does fall flat in places. I will agree with that. But I think that soundtrack is, like I said, bless my soul. Herc was on a roll. And then even the gospel truth, the way they tell the story with it is so good. And the way it changes up. And that's what I mean. I want that for everything that was like to give new people a shot. Like I love Pedro Pascal. But I'm afraid we're going to get like Pedro Pascal fatigue because they're sticking him in everything. And I'm like, can we just at least give somebody else a chance? Like, that'd be cool. Like, I do that a lot. But when it comes to the Muses, it'd be cool to see Lizzo. It'd be cool to see Beyonce. It'd be cool to see whatever. It'd be cool for people to see the people they like. But I'm like, no, I need gospel singing church women of greatness. And I always love that they all look different. I always liked that even as a kid. I never thought, as a little kid, you're not going, oh, you're being inclusive and blah, blah. No, as a kid, I just went, wow. They're all different, and I like that. Like, and it's cool, and they play on it. I love that. I do love that. But no, I do like Hercules. And then I would say, honestly, I think Moana is up there.
Dude, Moana had
Shiny,
some
if you just wanted to
freaking
know literally me, is
Shiny
that crap.
was literally amazing. And I remember my friend, or no, not my friend, my
I
cousin
flare
who
that
actually
shit.
posted about this. How she was she was like posting like lyrics about of this of Shiny.
I
And I
cried.
mean, I love how like he's like beating up Maui while still singing and shit. And
No,
he's,
I think I made a like somebody said something on and I made a post about it where I said, what does he say? He goes, "Do you want me to talk about myself? Because I will
in
in song
song.
form." And I said I was like, when people get mad that I'm talking too much, and then I like posted it, and people were like, "Oh my god!" But I was like, "No, Tematoa is my favorite. I love that." But then we're also bringing in when you bring in the people that did the music for Little Mermaid and all that, like Menken and them, and then you bring in why am I blanking on Hamilton? Lin-Manuel Miranda. And then you bring him in, like, man, come on. But the score for that is beautiful. I remember it might have been 2020 and why we didn't have New Year's Eve, because we always have New Year's Eve here, but we didn't that year. And I remember I just sat at home and watched Moana, cried like a baby when the grandma turned into a goddamn stingray. And I'm like, this is beautiful. And Boba Fett, does Boba Fett do the dad's voice in that? I love when he gets to be in stuff. I really do. I love him. I love that actor. But
Boba Fett.
I really
I love Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, no, and I really did, and I love when the mom helps her pack. We'll talk about all that a different day, but I do love that soundtrack and that score. And I'm like, is it? I think Frozen's really catchy. I think that it's good, but I think it's more catchy than it is. It's not to be a dick. Like I'm not gonna lie, I like Kesha. I like Kesha, but I'm not gonna go. This is some great music. I'm gonna go. This is pop and stuck in my head, and I'm having a good time. That's kind of how I feel about Frozen. In certain parts of it, like Love is an Open Door and stuff. But I think, and I love Tangled, like just the movie. I really love Tangled. But
Tangled is just like
I just like the life.
It was like that little fun movie that you're like, why am I watching this? But this is so fun.
I kind of love it. I'm having a good time. Yeah. If you're like down and want to eat some ice cream and throw on Tangled, it's good. I like it. But I would say Hercules. And like we're not counting Lion King. Pocahontas has some jams too, but Just Around the River Bend is a jam. But I don't think it has enough songs in it for me to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with the Jungle Book. I'm like, I would put that up there, but also are some of those like full songs. So I'm just probably like Hercules, Mulan, and my third slot would probably go to do you want to know what's underappreciated? But I'm not making this my choice. Oliver and Company. Billy Joel did the entire soundtrack.
I will be honest, I never really watched that one.
You've never watched Oliver and Company?
Oh
my God, I'm street smart. I got New York City Heart. It's great. Oh my God, we will have to watch that. But then it's got that weird depressing song, but no, not that one. I might have to put, see, it's always a fight between Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. I think Beauty and the Beast has a great soundtrack though.
Oh yeah.
But Under the Sea, I think might take it for me. It might be Under the Sea.
Under the Sea.
Also, can I just say this really quick about Pocahontas? Fuck John Smith. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
That is the epitome of what we go through as teenagers. And we're like, do you want to know what? Oh, this person's shiny and new and kind of cool. Let's ride off with him. And all Coco wanted was to keep her safe and to build you a nice house and to hang out with your people. That's literally all that man was doing. He just got back from war, by the way. Like, just got back. And that's all he says. He's like, where's she at? She needs to stay. She needs to be safe. He just wants to build you a sturdy house with sturdy walls. Like, no, go for a Cocoam. That's what you want. Fuck John Smith. Don't need that bullshit. He's showing up. He's giving everybody smallpox. Fuck that. Go with the Cocoam. When you get older, you appreciate the Cocoams of the world. That's what happens. Every time I watch it as an adult, I'm like, everybody ends up with the John Smith, and they're a piece of shit.
Want me to drop a bomb on you about Pocahontas and Lion King?
What?
You might know this, but I don't know if you do, because I didn't know this until like a couple years ago. So when Lion King was happening, all of the top animators, they wanted to make Pocahontas, and they left Lion King to like all like the new animators that were going on, like the new like low level guys. They're like, oh yeah, you guys work on this thing. We're gonna go do this, and then Pocahontas kind of flopped, and Lion King just became iconic, and it's just like, damn, we missed out on that paycheck.
I remember my neighbor had a Pocahontas Barbie doll that went in the water, and her tattoo showed up, and I was really fucking jealous of that. I remember that made me. And I like Flick. Do you want to know what I really don't like? Raccoons. So watching that raccoon crawl around all over her kind of always made me uncomfortable. I love Grandmother Willow, but I love Just Around the River Bend. That's a great song. But yeah, no, don't go with John Smith's. go with Cocoums of the world. That's what happens. And he
Yes.
just, and then Christian Bale doing a voice in that is crazy. That's nuts. He's Thomas. I'm like, Batman is Thomas. And
Really?
yes, it's Christian Bale.
I did not know this.
He loves voice acting. That's why he did Studio Ghibli stuff.
I did not know that.
He's
that was
Thomas.
Bale.
He
Oh
shoots
my God.
Cocoum, that piece of shit. And then I'm like, that's another one, those Savages. That's a great back and forth. Like, we'll have to talk about that. But that, honestly, I might put that in there. That back and forth of them going like, with the both sides and them getting ready with the war paint and them getting ready is like beautifully done and is so intense. And then showing Pocahontas in this like softer area around it. It's the color and shit is so good in that. But I'm like, the word savage is a very extreme, but I get it though. But I'm just like, see, you were handling things correctly there. Like, and then they put the Pocahontas singing over them singing it's beautifully done. Also, Percy the dog is an ass. Oh my God, we're right. Cinderella. Can I say something about Cinderella really quick? And then I'll let Angel go. The new Cinderella live action is one of the best. And I think I have the lipstick right here. It's right here. Yeah, this was my favorite one I got. Like, I've ran out and got like the set. I swear to God, this is all from the Cinderella set. It was my favorite thing I got. But that one's underappreciated. And I think that is the best live action one they did. But I also love when being nice is a strength of a character. And that's what they did with Cinderella in the new one, where it was like, and Rob Stark's in that, and he looks great as Prince Charming. But being nice is a strength. Being kind is a strength. Being polite is a strength. And I really don't like when that's used 100% as a weakness. Like, sometimes you do need to do whatever. But I always love, I don't know if anybody played Final Fantasy here, but like, and that's another thing from the early 2000s where I was like, oh my God. But the main character of Yuna in that, she's like, listen, I'm being very nice and polite and being kind and being nice. So I'll use my strength that I use. But also, if you keep acting like a goddamn fool, I'm going to summon this thing and destroy you in a second. But it's like, but I love when that is a strength for a character. I really do. And I think they did good.
I can't believe this slipped my mind, honestly. And I feel terrible with myself about this.
What?
I'm going to go back to one of my favorite soundtracks.
Mm-hmm. Aladdin.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Are we counting that as Oogie Boogie song is great.
The Oogie Boogie song is amazing.
My favorite.
Freaking the henchman song. Like, me, my sister, my brother were saying that we have to get.
I would have already been pregnant by the time. I'm so sorry, Angel. That just made me laugh. I would have already been pregnant by the time Smith showed up. I don't know what that girl was thinking. Stupid teenager shit is what she was thinking. I'm so sorry, Angel. That just made me laugh when I read it. Oh my God, no. But Oogie Boogie. What's your favorite song in the whole thing?
And again, controversial thought. It is honestly a tie between the henchman song, Kidnap Santa Claus,
and beating him with a stick.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Kidnap the Santa Claus, and also what a lot of people don't notice. I loved Jack's Lament.
That's my favorite.
When he's just like sitting on top of the thing, like there's something missing inside of these bones, like a longing that I don't know. It's just like, oh my God, like you're just explaining every millennial's headspace at this moment.
I know that Jack's Lament comes in twice, but every time I'm coming out of like a depression episode or like forget that I'm the shit and forget to tell myself that in the morning and I'm feeling down, that's what I'll listen to and Blair. And it's like, well, what the heck? I went and did my best. And then he's like, and I am the Pumpkin King.
He's like, I got some ideas that'll really make us sing.
Yeah, I love the Jack's like, I'm gonna keep going. Like, no, I do. I love it. But honestly, you can't hate What's This. It's a jam. What's this?
What's this? What's this?
It's so good. So good.
Love it. Love it.
The Sword and the Stone is a jam. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast is good.
Oh yeah, no, and exactly with Cinderella. Being good, being kind, like that's my strength is that I'm putting up with your bullshit, but also like I don't resent. I'm not getting and I love that. Like I really do. And I think they really did in the live action one. Because some of the other ones, like I said, I'm like, this is dumb.
Oh, Sally's song. Yes. Sally's song is underrated. Like how like she's just like so in love with this guy. And it's just like
but she also knows he's an idiot.
Yeah. And that's why she was trying to ruin like taking off with the thing and just like putting like the thing to make like the fog and everything. Like, oh good, I saved you. And then Zero comes in with his freaking nose. It's just like, oh God damn it.
Well, that's my thing too, is that oh my God, no, never mind. No, I'd like her. That's I sense that something's coming in the wind, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've all been in that position too of like, that's what I was going to say, but then I almost said it way meaner. Like whether it's your significant other, your spouse, whatever, or your friend, even where you're like, I know you really want to do this, but don't fucking do it. Like, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to fit. Or like, I don't know if you should drive that tonight. Like, and you're just really like, I know they're really geeked for this, but I'm really trying to be nice.
I feel like Sally's song is something that should just be played whenever there's any guys drinking and they're like, hey, hold my beer and watch this.
I love when the butterfly comes out of the bottle. I don't know why I love that so much.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's just such like a nice touch. Like he opens it, it's just like a butterfly comes out. It's like, oh.
And I do love Jack's. The little details in The Nightmare Before Christmas are what make it great. And it's like when you look at Jack's like chalkboard, it's so funny. It says like chestnuts on a fire, like all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, imagine if an alien did come to Earth and we were like, Christmas. Like that's, and I love Sandy Claus is funny. I love, but I think that I'm a gambling boogeyman, although I don't play fair.
That was one of my favorite parts of this
jazz
song.
ones that are best. I gotta get on this soul shit. I want to see this insanity.
No, yeah, I love how he says that in the Boogeyman song because I'm gambling Boogeyman, although I don't play fair. And then at the end, he's like, "It's much better with lives on the line, not mine, of course, but yours." Boy, well, that would be just fine.
It's that used to be on my work playlist, and I love it. Not mine, of course, but yours, old boy. Like, no, that's something that it really does great too. Is like the words in between in all of the songs. Like Jack does it a few times too, but Chris Sarandon as Jack Skellington is so good. I saw him do an interview about it like not that long ago, and he was like, I never thought voicing this character. And he comes back for every Kingdom Hearts, which I'm like, adorable. I appreciate when like they don't have to do that, but he does. He's like, I want to do it. I like being Jack Skellington. But he's like, I never thought like kids would be coming up to me today going, like he was like, I thought Princess Bride or whatever. One of my other roles is what people would remember me for. He's like, no, I have people coming up to me all the time. We're like Jack Skellington, Jack Skellington, Jack Skellington. And then I'll say this, and then I'll let you go for real. I've been fighting for this for years. I want nothing more than because I have one right here too, than a music festival. Like, I don't care. You can like Bonnaroo or Electric Forest, just as big. I don't see why you couldn't. I think enough people would go where it's just movie scores. I'm like, would you go see Danny Elfman?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, you'd be like, we're going to go see Danny Elfman at 8 on this stage, but at 9, we have the Howard Shore set, and then at 10, we got the John Williams score going, and then all of a sudden Duel of the Fates starts playing. That'd be sick. And I was like, how great would that be? And I'm like, that would be so cool to do.
I
would
like, love that.
Well, I don't know why they haven't done it. And I'm like, even if you can't get the exact composer to come, which I'm like, why wouldn't you? That would be so cool to do. But I'm just like, I would go to that. I would go to that and treat it just like Bonnaroo or Electric Forest. I'd be drinking, I'd be smoking, I'd be having a blast. And I'd be like, we're going to go to the Jurassic Park set, and then we're going to catch Danny Elfman. And then it's like, that'd be so cool. And I do not understand why nobody's done it. Like, I have this. My friend got me this. I don't even know where she found it. But I have, like, the E.T. vinyl.
Oh, that is sick.
Yeah. Now, I have a little bit of beef with John Williams, but he's iconic. He's great. But that's what I mean, too, about that white German Black Panther music maker. Like, imagine somebody calls you and goes, hey, John Williams is done doing Star Wars, so we need you to come in and do this new Star Wars thing. It can still feel like the old one, but it needs to be new, and you have to make it so everybody freaking loves it. That would be scary as shit. If somebody was like, hey, yeah, do you want to come and do a job after this renowned iconic, prestigious thing, I'd be like, I don't think so. I don't know if I want it. Star Wars? Not Star Wars. That'd be scary as shit. That'd be scary as shit to do. I'd be like, oh my God. Yeah. How do you make something as iconic as that? And he did. Like, he did. It was great. But I thought it was so cute that I'm like, he's like, no, I just thought everybody this. He was like, so the hip hop influence just mingled into all my shit. And I'm like, it's made one of the coolest sounds in recent history, because I will say this, I think that's where the Avengers suffer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have we have the great dun-dun-dun, 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 but, and does anybody remember when AC/DC and Iron Man had a chokehold on us?
Seriously, though.
There was a fucking tour, Angel. There was a tour you could go to and see AC/DC, but it was all Iron Man shit. And it was like, shoot to thrill, we're going to go fight the Taliban. It was fucking crazy. That's another one, too. We'll talk about that, where I'm like, that could have went real. I'm like, oh, we're going to go to the Middle East in the early 2000s. and we're going to show everybody that we're the ones blowing people away, and maybe we're not so great, and maybe we shouldn't not like. And I was like, Robert Downey Jr. was a gamble. A superhero that nobody really gave a shit was a gamble. Jon Favreau was a gamble directing and going, do you know what we should do in the mid 2000s? Maybe stop villainizing Arabic people. And I was like, if you really think back on that, it could have went real far the other way, and they did it great.
Really
and I'm like, when people say that too, don't make it political. Go watch Iron Man.
No.
Go watch Iron Man.
Seriously. Everything about every time Iron Man is playing anything like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin is just amazing.
Yeah, no, but for real though, it was like, oh, I'm gonna go fight terrorists, and then all of a sudden you'd hear like Thunderstruck, and it was the shit, and it was like, can you get any more goddamn American though? Where it was, but no, there was literal tours, and then once they sold to Disney, all of a sudden AC/DC was gone. That was like Iron Man's thing was AC/DC, but none of them really have, besides Loki now, none of them have like, and Black Panther music, and I'm like, it's good. Is it horrible? No. It's fine. It's passable. But does anybody have like, can you think of like, what is Black Widow's music? And do I want to listen to it while I'm working out? No. Thor, I can't really, I mean, I know, but I don't know. Loki, sick. That's where they struggle. They needed to get a better.
They really need to get better with their music. Because like, come on.
But no, let me let you get out of here. I'm sorry, because I'll just keep going. I'm going to write down a bunch of shit we talked about, though. Thank you guys for being here. Seriously, I really appreciate it. Like, oh my God, good night, good night, good night. Oh, yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for coming on, Angel. Angel, we're going to do this more.
Seriously.
Well, yeah, for sure, definitely. And we'll do it here because that's what I'm doing, too. I'm flip-flopping sides, everybody. So, like, I'll take a picture of it one day. That side's bigger. This side, there's, like, a thing that comes out of the wall. Like, it's a mess. But, like, it's built into the room. Like, it comes out like this, and it looks like a table's there, but really it's shelving and all this shit. So it's kind of separating the room a little bit. But that side's bigger. So I was like, okay, I'll move my bed and shit back over here. And I'm going to make that a full seating area again, because I got my couch and shit over there, and make that like a little squared off nook where if I have guests, I can record easier, but also I can just slide right in and do this again. So it's in the middle of, when you make everything all fucked up and messy while you're trying to make it better?
Yeah.
That's
100%.
part of this too. But yeah, no. So that way we can do things in person and again. And we can always go like live on other shit and bullshit around and if you wanted to come by. But you know what I mean? Like officially. But no, I had so much fun. And we're going to talk about something. I'm going to bring up, I'll do Disney reviews with you all the time. But thank you for coming on. 100%. And thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. But yeah, Mulan's a jam. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Do you want people to follow you on things? I feel bad. Everybody who comes on, I'm like, plug yourself. And then I'm like, wait, Nicole doesn't want anybody to find her. I don't know if Angel does.
So I really don't have much of an online presence really anymore. But feel free to follow me. Like, I don't care on either Facebook or Instagram. It's literally just my name, Angel Mendoza. So yeah, you can go and follow me for sure.
No, yeah, and then we'll have to do another comic book day thing.
Oh, 100%.
Or like they never emailed me back though. I'm like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, no, thank everybody for being here. And I'm checking out this Soul. And I really am. That's weird. Could you imagine that? Imagine if it was reversed. Imagine if it was like a white girl Soul possessed with the voice of an old black man.
That just wouldn't work.
What if we just flip-flop that around? Then people would be going, what the fuck is going on? But it's like, what are we doing here? I need to know. How do you make a jazz? I'm just okay. How do you do that? How do you ever make this jazz?
I never watched it, and now I haven't watched it. And I'm like, now I have to watch this. Like,
no, I was never planning on watching it. I just thought, but now I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? And do you want to know what I haven't watched? And I don't tell people about it, and then I really will go Inside Out.
I am right in the same boat with you.
Oh my God, maybe we can try. Okay, I'm going to try and figure out how to, if you guys see me going live in a minute a bunch of times, it's just me practicing to see if shit will work probably. So don't think it's going to be anything too great. I'm going to see if we can try and figure out how to watch it live on here or like together on here, whatever. We'll figure it the fuck out. Because I feel like Soul is a bit of a watch. I feel like that'll be great. But everybody have a good night. Be safe out there. And thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on, Angel. I know